Hey everybody, welcome to Comic Book Curation. I'm Polly, and my god, we actually got the fucking stream started. Fuck you, YouTube. And fuck you, my slow-moving computer. It's okay, baby, I'm just kidding. Alright. So, joining me
It's okay, baby, I didn't mean it, baby.
Yeah. Well, and joining me, as always, is Inquisitor Quiz. How are you doing?
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Right? Well, it ended early, and she was disappointed.
I'm sure she was. I'm okay.
Quick nerd test. What was the name of the play that night at Ford's Theater?
Oh, fuck. I remember what John Wilkes Booth yelled. Sic Semper Tyrannis. Fuck, I remember the...
Reported...
That's from Julius Caesar, that's why.
Reported as some as the South is avenged. It wasn't necessarily Sic Semper Tyrannis. But no, in my mind it was. Yeah. There were different reports about what he actually shouted. But doesn't matter.
Probably said both.
Sic Semper Tyrannis is better.
The play was Our Town, wasn't it?
Nope. It was My American Cousin.
Oh, that's right.
That's it.
And it actually is a pretty funny moment at the he decided when the crowd got loud, when they were applauding and laughing at something, he would make his move, which was smart, right? And if you read that part, it is actually funny. Like the comedy holds up because he's basically telling a woman that she's like a busybody, nosy bitch that needs to stay out of his business, you know. And it's oh, wait a minute! Rounding out our triumvirate of awesome, as always, is Jack from Bad Comic Reviews. Jack, how are you doing?
Feeling a little forgotten.
No, you're not. Oh, look, Angela came in with it. Because you smart peoples out there.
Yep.
Well, you know what I think most people were shocked by was the twist ending where there was a gunshot and then some rando jumping on the stage.
Yeah, no one expected that. And
No, it's sort of like you're at a movie theater and you're like, is that Brad Pitt running out the door?
But John Wilkes Booth was an actor too, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
He's super famous too.
Yeah, exactly. Very famous actor. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The irony that you can get out of looking at the various plays that he had done beforehand, in Ken Burns' documentary, The Civil War, in like part 8 or whatever it is that he talks about the assassination of Lincoln. He's like, John Wilkes Booth, 2 years prior on stage said these words, and it's from like Julius Caesar, like a play that's about assassinating Caesar. You know what I mean? And I don't remember the lines, but it's like how many ages hence and how many generations forth will the same words be played out that we are now enacting? And they're talking about an assassination, and it's like, oh, the irony! It's great.
Yeah, it's where Sic Semper Tyrannis comes from because it's right before
Julius Caesar.
Yeah, it's right before he says et tu Brute, if I remember correctly. I had to take a Shakespeare class in college, and I remembered very little, and I was bored out of my mind.
Wait! Whoa! You mean to tell me you as a literary major had to take a course on Shakespeare?
Right?
Yeah, I know, right? It was awful. You know what class was awesome though? Children's literature. You know why? You can read one of those books in an hour.
Yeah.
No, so in all seriousness, you don't like. I can understand not liking a lot of Shakespeare. I personally don't like a good swath of it, but you don't have some favorites. There's not stuff you like.
I like Shakespeare. I just don't like reading Shakespeare.
Oh,
it's meant to be visual.
I hear you.
It's boring to read, and I was the only person in class who understood some of the language, so I had to keep translating words to the fucking dipshits next to me.
All right, prove you're not a liar. Favorite comedy, favorite tragedy.
Favorite comedy, probably Taming of the Shrew.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And favorite tragedy, probably Hamlet, maybe Macbeth.
Huh. Tragedy for me is Macbeth all the way. Comedy, Midsummer Night's Dream. But Taming the Shrew is pretty awesome too. But I was legitimately surprised watching a college production of Midsummer Night's Dream. It's legitimately funny. Like there's parts in it that like holy shit, what a it reminds me of like a the sitcom misdirection. There's a misunderstanding, and that's the genesis of every joke in the episode. Somebody misunderstood something at the very beginning. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what happens, except times 5. Yeah, everyone's proceeding under misunderstandings. Everyone's in love with the wrong person. Everyone who's, it's great. It's hilarious. Anyway.
I saw a production of The Tempest in college, and they did Caliban. They did it as a comedy almost,
Mhm.
and Caliban was dancing around, and he pulls his loincloth off, and he's got a little dinker. And the guy was doing all these pelvic thrusts while he was dancing, so you see this little wang bouncing. It was fucking hilarious.
Little
Tinker!
I know!
Yeah.
That's what caught me too. What are you, Quiz? Do you have a favorite comedy tragedy at all?
I think I'm gonna go with Jax there. Probably Taming of the Shrew for comedy, and definitely Hamlet for tragedy.
Yeah, you're one of the few guys I know that goes around quoting Hamlet. What are you reading?
Yeah.
Birds.
Words. Come, Hamlet, you speak with a questioning tongue. Go, mother, you speak with a wicked tongue.
Grisella says that Poe is better than Shakespeare. Oh, I love me some Poe.
Oh yeah,
I am a big fan of Poe. He's
The Cask of Amontillado.
hugely famous, like purely American literature, classic stuff.
Yes.
But Grisella said earlier, and I can't scroll back because I relaunched the chat. Grisella, did you actually launch a comic today? Did I read that right?
Yeah, Grisella did the Friday the 13th the game comic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we should have him on or something like that. Grisella's awesome. We should promote it, tweet it, all these things. I didn't know anything about this. This is
yes.
This is huge.
Tweet a link at us, Grisella, and we'll retweet it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I did. Because I saw the.
I haven't been on Twitter all day except for throwing the occasional signed comment in about an hour ago.
I try to monitor that shit as much as I can while I'm at work. Keyword being is as I can. So
actually, one of if you look closely, you'll see a piece of Grisella's art is framed and gracing the walls inside the Noir Bar off to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Meadowinter asks you, Jack, does a shrew equal a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nag, like a nagging woman.
Yeah. Taming of the Shrew, it's all about a low-born woman being essentially trained to be an upper class.
You don't see how you just fell for that, do you?
What?
Doesn't equal woman. It equals a bitchy woman. You just called all women shrews. Well done, Jack. Well done.
Why do you think I'm single? I like all my stuff.
Okay.
Exactly where it is.
Grisella did put the link up. That's awesome.
There's a great adaptation. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Grisella, feel free to keep reposting it, and we will certainly, like in chat, so people can check it out who come in later, and we will certainly retweet it for you.
Hell yeah.
So anyway, Jack, you were saying.
No, there's a great adaptation, more modern 90s adaptation of Taming of the Shrew. It's called 10 Things I Hate About You.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a silly movie.
Yeah. There's also, oh shit, what was the name of that one other play? Pygmalion.
Yeah.
It was Taming of the Shrew.
Okay. So did y'all see the thumbnail for this week?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Getting 13, right?
No.
What's her name?
Aphrodite 9.
Oh. I knew it was something to do with a number.
It was something to do with a number, damn it. And there she is. Look. Now, I don't get that. Oh, yeah, because I cut it off. Here, let me fix that.
Cut it off?
The picture.
Quick, get some ice on it.
The picture. There we go. There she is in all of her awesomeness. Yeah, that's Aphrodite 9. I've used her in thumbnails before. Because she's sexy as fuck. I have no idea why she would go into battle in a pleated miniskirt, but I don't like to ask those kind of questions.
I find it best not to judge people for their armor choices.
Yeah,
I love it because she's got the tactical fingers, gloves, forearms, elbows, part of the upper arm, ankles, shins, knees, a little bit on the upper thigh, but then just like a ripped up tank top, panties, and a pleated skirt.
Mm-hmm. Well,
she knows how to
in reality, those her arms and legs are robotic. She doesn't have arms and legs. Those are completely artificial additions to her body.
So she's a nugget. Cool. All right.
Well, in reality, her whole body is full of... Okay, Aphrodite 9 is a pretty bad ripoff character, but I'm okay with that. It's Ghost in the Shell combined with Blade Runner.
Cool.
Like if you read the character's origin, she's an assassin is programmed to be an assassin in a dystopian future. Like you will just shades of Blade Runner and Ghost in the Shell everywhere you look. You know what I mean? But so what? The point is like tell a good story, and it's a sexy, interesting character that's in a fun dystopian cyberpunk future. My whole thing is just okay, she's sexy and badass. Now just tell good stories, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Let me interrupt you real quick here, Polly. Thank you on the Streamlabs for the donation, BabyDoll76. Hardly get to watch live because of work. Thanks for the laughs. That's what we're here for.
It is.
Thanks for watching. And thanks for the donation.
The only thing that the one thing that makes her different is every time she commits an assassination, she's programmed like through like homing technology to go back to her base to kind of like recharge, as it were, sort of like Major Motoko is to go back to home base, you know, afterwards. But they wipe her memory each time. So it's sort of like a Groundhog Day effect. She's living the same day over and over again from her perspective. And it becomes this nightmare of who am I? I have this shattered memory. I can't, you know, etc. It plays well, and you know, come on, Image Comics, get on it. You got a great character, make more out of it. But you know, maybe
that's Image for you,
right? Let me just slide this. Reveal sexy Leia. It's off. Okay. What article? We got a host of weirdo articles. Oh,
it's been a weird week.
It has been. And before we get too far into it, I want to say thank you so much, chat. People that have been contributing. People that have been contributing to hashtag CBC articles and hashtag Noir Bar. Noir Bar, of course, being the late night stream, but like article ideas and things you wanted to be talked about over at those hashtags. I didn't think you guys were going to get on it this fast. I was dead wrong. There's so much stuff up there. I just clicked on it yesterday for the first time, and it's holy shit. Lots of great article ideas and other stuff like that. You guys are awesome. So thank you. And the other thing is people are totally putting up comics that they've bought up under CBC articles, which we want them to do, right? Like, what are you guys reading? What are you interested in? Pete put his stuff up. Other people did. We got to come up with some sort of segment where we're like, I've never even heard of this thing, and somebody bought it, and that just made me realize of it for the first time. You know, that sort of thing. I mean, I love seeing all the stuff that people are reading. It's awesome. So yeah, again, hashtag CBC articles, or if it's something more generalized, and you might want us to check it out on Noir Bar or whatever, hashtag Noir Bar. Looking forward to reading it. Keep up the good work. It's very generous of you guys. That we. You know what came out this week, gentlemen?
Both of these nuts.
Did
you invite me on here?
No, okay, I know I did.
Fault.
Well, the invitation's my fault, yes, but I'm trying to grasp the joke. Like, do you know what came out this week? Both of these nuts. Were you arrested for flashing in public?
No, but I pulled them out at some point.
In public?
Hey, how I kill the tree in my backyard is not your business.
Well, I'm not worried about what you do in your backyard. I'm more worried about what you do downtown. It's don't do that downtown.
That's a secret between me and the Asian massage parlor.
Yeah. Well, okay. The
I do this all day.
The article that we covered this article months ago talking about J.J. Abrams and his little
nepotism.
His little soy-filled writing partner are going to be writing a Spider-Man comic, and it came out this week. And I mean, it's pretty milquetoast. It's neither here nor there. I realize they fancy themselves to be the greatest writers who ever wrote a writing, but I don't know. It's pretty straightforward. I wouldn't call it bad or good or whatever, but Mary Sue had a problem with it, damn it. Surprisingly. There it is. J.J. Abrams' Spider-Man comic falls prey to some pretty awful tropes. Subheadline, one word. Gross. All right, Kate Gardner, let's see what you think of gross. Oh, look at this on the little side here. I love this. A reminder that the FBI investigation into Brett Kavanaugh was, by all accounts, a total sham. By all accounts, this is why you're a blog. Anyway, and this is why the stream is titled this week, News is Blogs, because all the stuff we're covering is just really belongs in blogs, not in news sites. But hey, welcome to Clown World of 2019, guys. Okay, I just said it's a blog, right? Right? You know what the first article of the first sentence of this so-called article is? Oh, J.J. Abrams, period. That's it. Hello? Am I alone? Did these guys drop out? I think they did. Yeah, they did. So, I'm going to restart the Hangout, and in the meantime, I'm going to read the article for you guys. Jesus. See? You can't trust fucking Google anymore, man. The video call has ended. Motherfucker. And it won't allow me to restart it. So I will be launching a new Hangout to grab these guys back, because I could do the stream by myself, but that's not what you guys are here for. You're here for all three. So let me pop the article capture real quick. I dropped the call. No. They simultaneously dropped out of the call. The Google Hangout itself just collapsed on itself. When I look, it says, your call has ended. Not by my choice. There we go. Initiated. Have the link. And send it off to these guys. Messages. Quick question. Press a 1 in chat if you hate the new fucking Twitter interface as bad as I do. Yeah, I know. It's like 6 weeks old at this point. And every single time, every single day I log in, I develop a new degree or angle of hatred for it. It's unusable, unworkable, unintuitive. The list goes on. We are still in the call? Well, don't be, because I can't rejoin it. I tried and it won't allow me. So I will tell you what to do. There you go. There's the link for a new call. Come join me in this one, and we'll all be together again. If it ever actually sends the link to you. There you go. You guys have the link now. Come join me. Jack, you nuts broke the stream. And I got the article back up. I figured that they ran for cover. There's Quiz. He's back.
Yeah, he's sitting there saying that we dropped simultaneously. We were still in the call.
I believe you, but it says the call has ended. And yeah, it would say you left the call if I had like accidentally hit the button or whatever. Google fucked up.
Yep.
It just collapsed in on itself for some reason. And Jack's back. There we go.
I'm scared. I was all alone.
See, look at all the ones in chat. Not a single not one. Those are all acceptances for how bad we all dislike the new Twitter interface.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? The Twitter interface is a lot like Facebook, but I hate it slightly less than I hate the new Creator Studio.
Creator Studio is awful. New Twitter interface is awful. Everything is terrible. Don't improve on something that improve. Massive sarcasm quotes on improve on something that doesn't need to be improved on.
Yeah, don't
Fine.
tinker with stuff just to look busy.
I still hold to the idea. I was telling Quiz about this. If you want to make some changes at a certain point, you can't just keep adding things on to the software's architecture. You have to rewrite it over again.
Mhm.
I think there's something that they wanted to add to it. New advertising software, new tracking software, something. Like a whole series of things they've been waiting to, and they couldn't with the current software. They had no choice, but we need to just do it over again from the ground up. Now they can add new things to it. It's like a brand new operating system kind of thing. I think there was something that things they wanted to do they couldn't get away with on the old system. And
Well, China probably had some ideas that they wanted done, and they needed some new censorship stuff done, and there we are.
See, Warren says, good job, Polly. First time I catch you live, and you have a boomer moment. Well, thank you for being here live, and I will accept each and every boomer moment that I have, and God knows I have plenty of them, but that, sir, was not one of them. That was a Google moment. It just ended the call. I mean,
that was a Google moment. I like that. We're gonna have to use that.
I mean, seriously, I fuck up boomer style constantly, but that was not one of them. Just saying. Okay, so we were... There we go. So J.J. Abrams. Did you guys catch the first sentence of this wonderful blog? It's
no.
J.J. Abrams, period.
Who wrote it?
Kate Gardner.
Ooh, there's a new one. Okay.
No, Kate's written before.
Well, no, we usually cover the big two.
Leishman and Princess Weeks.
Yeah.
God, we know them by name. It's just...
Of course we do.
Cynical Lindsay says, I Spy, Sin City Clive Owen. Oh yeah, there's two Clive Owens in there from Sin City, and yeah. I don't have the heart eyes for him, you do, because I just think he's a badass. But yeah, we're in agreement. Fist bump. All right. J.J. Abrams. For all your talents, you really know how to fall into bad tropes. The release of the Spider-Man comic he's been co-writing with son Henry Abrams showcases one of the writer's weakest spots, which is writing women. Well, the rest of
Dun, dun.
Oh God!
Yeah, like shock and awe, right? We're blown away that this blog site
Mary
has
Sue
that
was
problem.
talking about the how someone can't write women. Okay,
Yeah. Well, the rest of your comic is basically the story it tells. Okay. This particular
wait. Did you give a spoiler alert? Because I think this article has some spoilers.
It does. Does anyone care? You haven't read the comic yet? Don't you guys read new comics?
Well, I mean, for the audience, not for us.
Oh.
In case they want to read this travesty of literature.
Well,
spoiler alert.
I mean, I guess spoiler
There we
alert.
go.
I guess you could like mute if you're really looking forward to reading J.J. Abrams and Sons' new comic. Well, the rest of the comic is basically the story it tells. This particular decision is egregious? Why is it egregious?
I think you know why, Polly.
Because it's about women.
No, I don't understand. It's like this particular decision. What particular decision?
Oh, have you read it?
Yeah, but they don't say what it is in the sentence. Like,
well, they're building up to it.
Okay.
They have to build up to using the word fridging.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They fridge?
Is egregious and reminiscent of Abrams at his worst. So let's dive into this particular decision and why it really, really sucks. Spoilers for the rest of Spider-Man. Hello. There's a lot to think about with the latest comic, from Peter giving up the role of Spider-Man to his tortured, angsty son Ben. But the worst part of all is that Mary Jane is dead.
Like a Disney mom.
Bridged for the sake of Peter and his son's angst. As if Gwen Stacy's death wasn't bad enough. As if I ever actually read that comic and gave a fuck.
Right?
MJ has once again died for the angst of it all. And she's played by a POC now. Not that she hasn't been whitewashed in this comic, though. So we don't really care as much because, she's white.
So she was found in a fridge? Her body was found in a fridge?
No, it's not literal fridging.
No. And it has soured my entire relationship with this comic. Oh, shut up. You never had one. I feel as though we are constantly bringing up Gail Simone's women in refrigerators. You feel that way, huh? You feel that
How do you
way?
think we feel?
Yeah.
It's happened like once in the history of comic books.
Mary Jane didn't die for her own character development or because she's reached the end of her arc. She died to motivate and hurt the two male heroes of the story and didn't even get to have a story of her own.
Wait. How do you have a character defining moment if you die?
You can, like an act of self-sacrifice, for example.
Yeah, like Gwen Stacy's death meant something to
someone else, but they're saying like it fulfilled her character. How do you fulfill your character if you die?
Let's find out with Spider-Gwen. How's that?
Well, yeah. But I mean,
I'm okay with that.
You've read Dark Knight Returns. The whole point of the arc is that Batman dies, right? Like that's.
But he doesn't.
Batman dies. Bruce Wayne doesn't. That was Frank Miller's brilliant way of dealing with that thing. He publicly revealed. Oh, I'm not going to tell everyone in case I haven't seen it or read it. I mean, go read it. Go read Dark Knight Returns. Greatest graphic novel ever written. All right.
Then come back.
Then, no. Read it later. It's fine. You can stay. Yeah, they feel as though they're bringing up, blah, blah, blah. She died to motivate male heroes. This is a classic.
Oh, the male heroes.
Oh, I'm so angry.
This is a classic case of a woman being shoved into a metaphorical refrigerator and it's dated. No, it's not. That's bullshit.
Disney does it all the time. They fucking did it in Hannah Montana. Come on.
Hannah Montana?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that was the first thing I could think of. Bambi, dead mom.
Yeah.
What else we got? Snow White, dead parents. Alice in Wonderland, probably dead. I don't know. They never show them. So, yeah, you could just go through the entire list of Disney TV shows and movies and find a bunch of dead moms.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Okay, if that's true, if a character dying is used as a motivation for another character, I mean, is that always wrong? Because Steve Rogers dying is a massive motivation and character arc moment for Peggy Carter in the MCU film.
Well, it's a big motivation for lots of characters.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just
Bruce Wayne would not have become Batman if his parents hadn't been killed.
Yeah, good example. Like, it needn't be male, female, or romantic relationship of any kind death. Any kind of death of someone who's close to you is a motivational thing. Of course it is. I think they just hate drama, these people.
Well, they love drama. They just don't like when women die.
Well, storytelling drama. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what happens when you are, I mean, right off the top of our head. Like, Jack, you brought up something I hadn't thought of. But what about his parents dying? Yeah, what about Peter's Uncle Ben dying in the way that he did? It's like, that means Uncle Ben had no story of his own. No, it's just that the story was focused on Peter. Therefore, they weren't telling Uncle Ben's story arc. They were telling Peter's and the impact it had. No, you make a good point. But they're so focused on their feminist lens, they can't see past anything but a woman dying, you know?
Yeah, it's because they're obsessed with that and not the emotional weight that death carries, its impact on the character and their development. It's all about the dead character. That's not necessarily the case. I mean, the character's death should mean something. Like Uncle Ben, we saw what a great guy he was before he got capped by some rando hobo trying to steal his car or whatever. But yeah, it can mean something for everyone in the book. It also had an impact on Aunt May's character. It had a lot, because she worried more about Peter than she was alone. It had a lot of impact to everybody. Gwen Stacy's dad dying, Captain Stacy, was it before or after? Either way, it impacted other characters.
How about Lucky Pop-Tart reminding me of something. Death of loved ones is a good push into craziness. Yeah. Like for the comedian who went on to be the Joker in Alan Moore's The Killing Joke. The death of not only his wife, but their unborn child.
Like Above Potato pointed out, Frank Castle.
Yeah. I mean, fuck you, Mary Sue. I mean, it's been 45 seconds or a minute, and we've come up with a whole bunch of motivations. Their story arcs aren't really told, but that's not the point, because that's not the focus of the narrative right now. You people suck.
They're just... Sorry, go ahead.
First of all, it's been a long time since I've read Killing Joke, but did his wife die? I thought she just left him.
No, she. Does anyone care about spoilers? Because it's a super tragic moment. She dies in a horribly ironic way, considering she was about to have a child, and the child dies with her. It was an accident, and it's awful. Like it, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, Alan Moore, Jesus Christ, buddy, that was like the darkest thing in the whole comic, if you ask me. No.
Well, no, there was a lot of dark shit in
yeah,
that comic.
The photographs that
Yeah.
Gordon
The
was
Joker
exposed
took,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, those were worse. Good call. God, that thing was dark, man. Holy shit.
It is. It was a very, very dark, but it was meant to show the resiliency of people who fight against the darkness. Sort of.
Yeah, for Chad, if we lost you because we're talking real fast, we're talking about The Killing Joke by artist, drawn by Brian Boland, written by Alan Moore. It's a fucking classic. Weebo Jones was on before Comic Book Curation a while back, and she pitched the animated version of it. Did she not?
No, she pitched Gotham by Gaslight.
Oh, that's right, she did.
Well, somebody pitched the Killing Joke movie.
I pitched the Killing Joke.
Oh, well, you and Weebo have a lot in common.
Oh,
That's Cole, man.
Well, they're both short.
not short.
Shorter than me, it makes short.
Haven't we established that Jack and I are normal in your short quiz?
I guess.
Well, you're delightfully average height wise for normal people, but I'm a fucking giant, so you're all short to me.
And
no, Cynical Lindsay is like, okay, yeah, I better mute. I have not read The Killing Joke yet. No, we just talked about it in general terms because, yeah, that's one of those comics I legit, along with Dark Knight Returns, would legit not want to spoil because they're masterworks, man. All of them.
They're masterpieces. Yeah. They're absolutely great.
They have ups and downs and rising action. By the time you get to the end of it, you remember parts of it. It's not a forgettable read. It's whew. So anyway, back to this article because it's not that long, so we can just kill it off here.
The other one that I was going to bring up is Frank Castle. If we're going by the absolute dregs, the bare bog standard of what they say makes it awful is the fact that it's violence that happened to women that motivates these men. Frank Castle's wife, daughter, and son. So there's a son, and then the Joker's wife, it's, I guess, kind of reinforcing their point. Not that their point has any veracity at all, but
the points never have veracity. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
silly.
Abrams, who's most famous for his female leads,
right?
His Mary Sue's. Incredibly appropriate that you at the Mary Sue think that his female leads aren't Mary Sue's, but anyway, should have known better. He's supposed to be this aware of a writer. This aware?
This aware.
No, he's supposed to be this aware as a writer.
Yeah, he's supposed to be aware of what they're talking about.
Right, but that sentence does not have a subject in it. This is not referencing something.
It's because these people are terrible at everything they do.
Yeah, I'm just being a grammar critic because this is so obviously a blog. Anyway, I'm trying to stay within the theme for this episode. It is cool.
Well, you'll notice what they're really doing though is trying to tell him how to write. Like, this is not socially acceptable speech. That's really what this article is about how he fucked up as a woke individual and it's awful and we need to correct him. You can't tell the story you want to tell. You got to tell the story we want you to tell.
No, Quiz would be one of the Baker Street regulars. Let's see.
No, I'm totally Mycroft, and you know it.
You're not fat.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, he's supposed to be more aware of a writer. Trying to help you out here. And yet he's falling for the oldest trick in the book. Dead wives and mothers are not creative. There is nothing revolutionary about killing off a woman to motivate a male character. That it was. The whole comic is pretty milquetoast. Why aren't you criticizing? Anyway. And after working in the business for years and getting feedback from his various missteps,
Wait, he's worked in comics for years?
no, in the storytelling business, what I'm assuming.
Okay.
He should have
She didn't
known.
say that.
He should have known better than to just kill off Mary Jane or race switch her for the sake of notoriety.
Yeah.
This, you're never supposed to begin a sentence with this, is a vastly frustrating choice because what are you referring to as this? You can do it grammatically, but you didn't do it right. This is a vastly frustrating choice. What is a vastly frustrating choice? The thing in the previous sentence? Well, that means you have all predicate and no subject. Who the fuck taught you to write?
Not only that, is that it's even worse because this starts a whole new paragraph.
Yeah.
You can't start a paragraph.
Your topic sentence has no subject. Good call. Holy fuck. This is why it is so hard for male writers to why is it so hard for male? Bridging women is not a clever storytelling device.
No, but it's a standard one.
There are ways to include women in your story and even kill them off without falling into the dated tropes. And when the opportunity comes to kill a woman for man pain, many writers seem to leap at the chance. It's annoying. Seriously, get better ideas.
Well, you know what else is another really tired trope? The capable woman who can do everything and don't need no man. But I'm sure you fucking champion that one, don't you, cunt?
No, see, Mary Jane just survived and Peter died, and she shaves the side of her head to show her independence. And then she takes up the costume, and now she's Spider Red.
Red Spider.
I'm disappointed in Abrams for this decision. This. I get why he and his son might want to tell a Spider Dad and Spider Son story, but that doesn't mean that Mary Jane is dead weight who must get jettisoned. He really should have known better than to pull this. And any criticism is rightfully earned. Please rectify this sooner than later, Marvel. We don't need any more dead girlfriends and wives. Now give me the phone number to your manager. I want to talk to her.
Right? Shut up, Karen.
Please rectify this sooner than later. And I want to talk to your manager. Tell me that didn't fit perfectly on the end.
Yeah.
Fix this now.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, fix this now. What is the article that...
Oh, yeah.
What?
Cynical Lindsay brought up men in fiction getting fridged as much as women do. The Walking Dead, spoiler, but Herschel Green's brutal murder pushed his daughter Maggie into attempting suicide. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, it's okay if you kill off men, because men are disposable pieces of shit. Whereas women are angelic beings.
You know, just to play the devil's advocate here, though, what about his two daughters that get beheaded in the prison by the one inmate?
Well, they didn't do that in the TV show.
Well, so, I know, but I'm talking the comic. That would be a rebuttal that someone at the Mary Sue would
I agree, but you know they didn't read the comic book.
No, of course they didn't.
So
they watched the TV show and that's it.
Yeah.
Looking article seemed to connect to that. But, yeah, I mean, we can do this one. Kind of, it relates in that it's about J.J. Abrams as well. Excuse me.
This is a book about lens flares.
Well, this is over at We Got This Covered.
Probably.
This We Got This Covered.com is Rumor Mill Central. I'm not sure what their deal is. They publish rumors as facts, and sometimes they're right and sometimes they're not. I just think that
they access media.
Well, oh yeah, they're absolutely access media. I'm sorry, I just got caught staring at Gal Gadot over there. God damn, she's gorgeous. Anyway,
yes, she is.
Like her in the Wonder Woman outfit, man. Like,
yeah,
yummy.
Yeah, man, it's something else. Oh,
it does things to my no-nos.
Here, send this over here. Bit like this, so you guys can actually see the edge of the article. It's all
widescreen.
It's all cattywampus.
It's all THQ'd.
Excuse me?
It's all widescreen, THQ.
Oh, THX.
THX.
Yeah, I was just like, what is that? Like some. I only found out what DTS sound was like a month ago, so I'm like, oh shit, there's another format I don't know about.
No, I find it best not to learn, then people won't expect it from you.
Really quick, thank you, Evolved Potato, for putting everybody's links in chat over and over again.
Yeah.
Greatly
awesome,
appreciated, man. That's
Well,
awesome.
potatoes are of the comic book curation, Stargazer Knights. So,
hey, Evolved Potato is his own potato. There's no comparison. It's fine.
His own potato.
He's his own potato. It's I will not compare.
And it's not to be compared with Polly's potato, which randomly kicks him out of calls.
I still say that's a Google problem. I don't know why you guys are so
Little
insistent.
from column A, little from column B.
Let's just stare at Gal Gadot here for a second.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, here she is off to the left. And I'm tired of people complaining there's no such thing as boob armor, as if boob armor isn't awesome.
Yeah.
Why do they do a boob armor?
Yeah. So why? What is that? Why is that the hill you want to die on?
Of all things, am I right? Like I can get complaints in and around battle thongs, like metal armor thongs, because they're kind of stupid. It just don't make sense.
No, that's how you know that's a badass warrior. If somebody's running around naked, you don't fuck with them because they're crazy. The fucking Scots used to do that shit, and the Picts, man, nobody wanted to mess with them. They're psycho because they're running around naked with swords. That's just dangerous. You might accidentally cut your dinker off. I'm gonna keep using that word because it makes Quiz giggle.
Yeah, yes, I'm not gonna lie.
But, yeah, so thong armor might serve an actual like intimidation thing, and so I am all for it. Plus, I don't know why people hate beautiful women. I think it's jealousy. So boob armor, it's cool, man. Maybe you got something hidden in there other than boobies. I don't know. I haven't inspected it, but I don't see the problem with it. I think it's great. I think it's feminist armor is what that is.
So really quick, Ebony Williams says, battle thongs. Yes, from time to time in comic books, women will be drawn wearing what can only be described as metal thongs. Like they've got like a metal breastplate on. Like they're supposed to have armor. Like you're supposed to be a warrior woman. And instead of having like... What do you call those slats of leather material that kind of make up a skirt? Romans used to wear them, and they often put them on women as well. Do you know the kind I'm talking about? It's made up of strips of leather.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called.
Something a little bit more realistic. That's whatever. They'll put them in a metal thong, Ebony, and it's so I jokingly call them like a battle thong. Yeah, they're kind of dumb, but when you look over at Gal Gadot here in her Wonder Woman armor, it's got spaces for the breasts. And there's people all over, Quiz, back me up on this, they get bent out of shape over that.
Yeah.
Bent out of shape.
Sure. Well, the worst part about it is, too, is I hear it all the time, especially from people that probably wouldn't kowtow to social justice bullshit, but they still do it for Sisters of Battle in Warhammer 40K. Yeah. They're wearing power armor, but they've got their power armor, like, made with boobs. Okay, first of all, it's a symbolic thing. Because the Sisters of Battle are the Sisters of Battle. They need to be readily identifiable as women. Otherwise, they are breaking law within the Imperium.
Well, I think we got to point out two very important things. One, the armor is most likely magical.
And two, we haven't even come close to starting this story. I hear you.
And number two, this isn't real. This is fantasy. So suck it up and deal with it. If Red Sonja wants to run around in a bikini made of chainmail, I'm totally cool with it. Yeah. It's called suspension of disbelief. You have no problem with some chick wielding a 50-pound sword slaughtering 100 guys, but you have a problem with her stupid outfit? Oh, shut the fuck up and get a hobby.
Oh, yeah. And not our hobby. Get a not our hobby.
Like, take up jarts. Lawn darts, man. Lawn darts is the future of SJWs. That's what they need to go after.
Yeah, SJWs need to play lawn darts with each other and stand stationary looking up the whole time. Do it. I'm kidding. That's a joke. That's not a threat. Calm down, YouTube.
I absolutely love the fact that lawn darts were even a thing. Let's just have kids stand in the yard and hurl javelins at each other.
Well, they're
Yeah, it was awesome.
gravity javelins at that. It's-
Yeah, they were weighted on the end to make them extra penetrative.
Well, Ebony agrees with you. They wear battle thongs to show how badass they are. Yep,
Yeah.
that's the whole point of it. It's supposed to be that they're sexy and badass at the same time. And as Jack says, the whole thing is in a fantasy setting. What's wrong with your head? You know?
Yeah, nobody cares. Like, it's just so frustrating. They take it so literally. It's symbolic. Yes, she's wearing armor to protect herself, but she's still feminine. I don't understand the problem with that. Why do they hate expressions of femininity? Answer me that and stay fashionable.
Well, okay. I actually have some images that relate back to Wonder Woman, but let's just peel through this article really quick because it's J.J. Abrams reportedly being offered his pick of DCEU movies. I could see this being the case. I mean,
yeah.
J.J. Abrams officially signed an exclusive new deal with Warner Brothers this week, which we got covered, this news site, quote unquote, has heard means that Warner Brothers hopes to put him to work. Hopes to put him to work on the DCEU before too long. The director has previously successfully relaunched Star Trek, and Star Wars, and now they want some of that magic brought to the DC universe. I get this. This makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like, let's bring that guy, whether or not he makes the fans happy, which he usually doesn't. He can take a franchise that's floundering and make people in China go see the movie. You know what I mean?
His name definitely does put butts in the seats.
Yeah.
I know that the one of the major reasons why I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and actually I didn't hate J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies, was because I'd seen Cloverfield, and I actually really liked Cloverfield.
I liked it better when it was called Godzilla, and I liked 10 Cloverfield Lane better because that was an awesome movie.
So sources say that Warner Brothers... I skipped over. And to make that happen, we're told the studio is offering him his choice of projects. Sources say that Warner Brothers is leaving it up to Abrams to pick whatever appeals to him, though they're currently hoping he'll choose one of the three main movies, Justice League reboot, another Superman film, or the Green Lantern Corps. We've been informed that it's unlikely Abrams will go for all three, but it's definitely possible, and he'll end up helming one of them, and at a push, two. We reported this summer that Warner Brothers is seriously considering rebooting the Justice League after the infamous 2017 movie. Back in June, the Suicide Squad's James Gunn was the favorite to direct, but now it seems Abrams is their top choice, where he wasn't cracking jokes about pedophilia for years. As the...
That we know of.
That we know of. Yeah, good call. Excuse me. We are in the middle of cancer culture for all we know. He has been. Said one thing one time back in high school, my God, his career is over. You know what I mean?
Right.
As for the Superman flick they're offering him, we're told this isn't necessarily Man of Steel 2, which makes sense given that Henry Cavill is likely done with DC, which is sad. I really dug him as Superman personally. But whatever.
He looked good as the character. I'm going to say they put him in really shitty movies.
Yeah, well, yeah. I would agree with exactly what you just said there. I think he fills the role like, holy shit, does he look like Beefcake Superman, the face, everything. He can do the meaningful stare and all that jazz, but the movie sucked. Yeah, there's no way around that.
Yep.
But last but not least...
I liked it when it was called the Bible.
Well, if you wash away a lot of the Messiah metaphors, Superman becomes a lot more interesting, in my opinion. But
calm down there, nostalgia critic.
Nostalgia critic?
Yeah, it was one of his major criticisms of the original Man of Steel.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Well, not just his. Red Letter Media, too, and so forth. But I think it was widely noticed, is the point. I mean, I don't know why anyone would think that with the overlay of Clark Kent's face with a picture of Jesus in the background while he's sitting in a church. Subtle stuff they're working on. Last but not least, Green Lantern Corps has been stuck in development for a hell of a long time, but maybe Abrams, being attached, could finally bring it back to life. Tom Cruise is thought to be in the running for Hal Jordan.
Why? He's so old.
And he's so white. That's not woke.
So yeah, I would, if they wanted to go woke, man, they would have immediately jumped from Hal Jordan to Jon Stewart.
Yeah. I'd have been okay with Jon
Straight
Stewart
away.
as long as Hal Jordan's been kicking around for a little while or something. But you could get some really good actors to play Jon Stewart, like Idris Elba would be really cool.
Oh, he'd be cool as Jon Stewart. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd totally watch the shit out of that. But
Yeah.
if you want to do a Hal Jordan one, you know what? I think they should skip both of them and go straight to Alan Scott and get it over with.
Well, Alan Scott was the original.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it wasn't even Hal Jordan who was the first.
The Lantern saved his life in the 40s. It was awesome. Or the late 30s, whatever. Could have been badass. I'd watch that movie. Make it a noir film.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But that's some out of the box thinking. Sorry, Polly, totally jumped all over your.
No, and I was done with that article. That's fine. And actually, that gave me a second to grab a couple of pictures that I'll have to show you guys in chat, so it's fine.
Ryan Walters said it. I was looking for a way to interject it in there when you brought up Green Lantern. But the way I would have phrased it was, holy shit, then he can do lens flares and it actually makes sense.
Yeah, that's really true.
Lens flares all over the place, but it's all fucking.
So I was piling through Razor Fist's Twitter feed, which I hadn't done in a while, and he had posted a couple of images that are like, I don't know where they're from, and I don't really care to know where they're from. It's just like, my fucking god, the current state of Clown World Comics. Look at this. Wonder Woman with her hand on top of Trump's head, and she's saying, go ahead, grab it, see what happens.
That one. Yeah.
I have never seen this before, and it's like, fucking hell, people.
That was around for a long time, ever since the grab him by the pussy line.
Like, I mean, first of all, it doesn't make any sense unless she's standing on a giant fucking crate, because he's like 6'4". That would have to make her like 7'11".
7-Eleven. 7-Eleven was a part-time job.
I mean, her hips stop at his shoulders. I mean, that is just so ridiculously tall. And it's like, well, because, she's a big, powerful woman. I get she's supposed to be Queen of the Amazon. She's Diana. I get that. But fuck off.
Is that official art? I don't think it is.
I have, like I said, I have no idea.
Like
I said, I have no idea where it's from. It does appear to be in a poly bag from the look of the shines on it, but I can't tell.
Well, you can put fan art that you printed out in poly bags. I'm sure Tim Doyle would be able to tell us all about that, wouldn't you, Timmy?
Hang on. You see where his hand is? It looks like he's going for it.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know what? I would do it. What's she going to do? She can't kill you.
Yeah, right.
Start a war. That'd be an international incident.
Well, let's go over to this other one that was also up on his meaning Razor Fist. Again, also, no idea where it comes from. But let me just read you the back and forth here, because this is Wonder Woman fighting an incel. A school shooting incel. He's yelling at her. I knew it! I always told my girlfriend that you couldn't be that tough, because he's obviously shot her. Now someone like Batman, man is highlighted. Or Superman, man is highlighted in Superman. Them you don't want to mess with, because they have something you don't. He points the gun at her. And you know what that is? She grabs his hand and says, I can guess. Is it a code against killing? And in the bottom line, hey! Screaming for death while the cops all.
That's so lazy.
That is so clever. Oh my god. You know what this strikes me at? Like, I'm a writer. I'm a paunchy loser. I'm impotent as fuck. Like, not sexually impotent. I just feel impotent. I can't do anything about things I'm angry about, but I'm just so angry. So I'm going to spill it out on the page the same way they do with the Mary Sue in their articles. This just screams emotional flaccidity.
It also screams mommy issues.
Look how tall she is compared to this scared little man who has to go around shooting people to feel strong. Yes, and as pathetic as that man is, you are as a writer. Because this is the best you can come up with. Man, over and over again. Yeah, okay, we get the point. It's so impotent to do something like this. You're just screaming, I feel angry and powerless.
Yeah, I'm insecure and I'm angry and powerless.
this is not storytelling. This is like Lois Lane, the comic series.
Mhm.
This is just barfing real world crap and having the heroes do something that you wish you could, but know that you can't because you're impotent.
But my talking points.
Right. I don't know. And there's an argument that I'm frankly getting pretty fucking sick of for the amount of times that it comes up. They revolve around freedom of the press and free speech. Okay? They're like, what? They're not allowed to write what they want? They don't have free license to print what they want, freedom of the press, because comics count under freedom of the press, and I think they realize that as an element of free expression. And it's like, right, freedom of speech isn't free expression, which is intimately and inseparably tied from freedom of the press. They don't have a right to print that. Yes, they do. And it's a mind-blowingly inappropriate point to bring up to me, because that would be response to a statement of, there's no way this should have been allowed to have been printed by the government. Well, they have a freedom of press and freedom of speech, do they not? See, that would make sense to say back to somebody, well, the government should shut these people down. I never said that they shouldn't be able to print it.
Well, Polly, you're forgetting that under a lot of these people are socialists, and under a socialist government, the press would be owned by the government. So they're planning on just annexing it later. So it would be government controlled. That's where the misunderstanding lies.
I mean, I hear you, but it, like, the reason it makes me so angry is because, like, it's got nothing to do with what I'm saying. Like, okay, so I offer criticism of this as lame, and it seems like the person who writes it feels lame and impotent. So they spill their crap out on the page in this way. What, they don't have a right to print it? I wasn't even talking anything about that. You might as well have told me your recipe for raisin nut brownies. It would have made as much sense as a response to what I just said.
That's got to be a line that you memorized or something, Polly. No one just immediately goes to raisin nut brownie.
A random baked good. What do you want from me? I don't know. It's what I came up with.
I think somebody skipped snack time earlier today. And now we're all hungry. Thank you.
My point is, of course, they've got a right to print it. And of course, I've got a right to criticize what they printed. So we're all enjoying our rights. Meanwhile, back to this person's impotence.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and say it's a way to shut the conversation down. They don't want to have the conversation with you. That's the reason why they would sit there and say, well, you just don't want him to speak his mind. Did I ever fucking say that? I'm so sick of people when I offer valid or legitimate criticism, sitting there saying, why are you trying to silence, blah, blah, blah. I'm offering criticism. I've never said that what you said, you're not allowed to say. Ever. I would never dream of telling you that.
No, I want you to say it. That's how we'll know the lunatics. Why is it that you think your freedom of expression comes along with a invisible caveat in the Constitution and through legal precedents that it can't be questioned or criticized?
Exactly.
No, it absolutely can. Freedom of the press. That means we're speaking the truth and you can't say anything about it. What? Where the fuck did you get that from?
Right?
It's a consequence of telling everybody how special they are and giving them awards for not doing anything, because they're not criticized and told that they need to work on something. So when they get actual criticism, they think it's some sort of attack. So they react defensively every time. And it's always an overreaction because they're not used to being told that they're not perfect, special, wonderful mama's little man. And there's a moth in here and it's pissing me off.
Fucking get it, Jack. Kill it.
I love that.
Got him.
On another note, there's this comic that I wanted to show, but I'm not sure if I can show it.
Uh-oh.
Is it got boobies?
Yes and no. I mean, all of my thumbnails have boobies.
Well, is there areola exposed?
No, but
then you're probably okay.
But I mean, just shy. The only thing stopping the areola from being seen is the here, I'll show you the cover, because Jack, you and I were laughing about the cover.
Are her wind flaps showing?
No. But Actually,
you're good,
technically, I think they might be in this picture. Here, you tell me.
Well, you don't admit that.
Ryan
you're
Walters
bad at this.
overreaction.
Look at this cover of Fox and Hound #1.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, you guys.
Wait 10
We've
seconds.
that's gonna be one of the best things when I get a new computer finally. Hey, check
It's
my
not gonna fix
Streamlabs.
this.
Is that
Not
I'll be able to run it at near
not-
instantaneous stuff.
It's not gonna fix the 10-second lag.
No, it will, because I can just do a constant screen share in Hangouts. I could do that right now, but it would grind my computer to a halt.
Okay.
See it now?
Yeah.
I mean, what is even going on?
I hear you. When I first saw this picture, I was like, what's happening here? Like, I clearly see what Hound is doing. This is Fox. As you can tell by the foxtail and nothing else. As you can tell by the tail. Hey.
Because she's got a foxtail butt plug.
That's right.
Shoved up there. That's the only like explanation for how that's attached to her.
Well, it's sewn on to her jean shorts there.
He's sewn on, yeah.
Okay. And that's Fox, and then Hound is down here with the Hound mask, right? And she's diving and falling. See, what's happening is this is a broken window. In case you can't see.
Oh, and they're diving out into the street.
Exactly.
I thought they were like running down a corridor or something.
That's what I first thought. If you look, it's not really well done because you don't get a lot of cues as to what's happening other than the broken glass and the very tiniest bit of a ledge that she's standing on here, right? But yeah, she's diving out backwards, and Fox is shooting back into the room. Whoever's chasing them or whatever, they're thieves, and thus all the dollars in the air that they've just stolen.
Yeah.
And what kills me about this comic? Hold on, let me check.
Fox or Hound has a toaster that she's brandishing.
That's actually the triggering device for the time bomb that she's got.
That looks like a toaster.
Okay, I can get away with the first page because everything is covered. Okay, there's the first page. It's both. They're both lesbians, and they're in a shower together. Fox and Hound at their place, and suds cover only that which it absolutely needs to. This comic is worth checking out because it seems like the entire impetus for this thing is how far can we push nudity yet not be labeled as an adult comic. It's page after page after page of that because this shower scene between them takes up the first 6 pages.
I was talking to my comic shop guy about this, and he loves those adult comics because they sell like crazy, because there's a lot of sad, lonely people out there.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, I don't read them, they're stupid, but people love to see cartoon boobies.
Well, anime titties are a hot item, are they not?
I guess. He dressed it up a little more classy than I did, but...
Who would actually pay for it, though? I'm just saying.
You'd be surprised, like, those, what are they called? Cave Woman? They're like $10 a piece.
Oh, well, it's not Jungle Story. It's something similar, though.
Yeah, there's a handful of them. Like Belladonna's got her own series, and there's Cave Woman, and then there's a Jungle one, and there's a handful of them out there. But they sell it like $10 a piece, and he said he sells at least 1 or 2 of them every month. People special order them.
Eve is like, Polly, I need this comic name. It's Fox and Hound. What it's called.
Midnight in Exile. So everybody shut up. I can almost finish.
Like, okay.
I may or may not be reading it right now, and some of the anatomy is terrible. I'm just going to say that.
Well, yeah, I wish I could show you more pages that show you more of it so you could get a sense of just how bad it is. So this is page number...
Oh, yeah, there's bare boobs in it.
Yes, there certainly is. Well, I don't think there's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be like nipple is showing through the soap, like especially in that shower scene.
Here, I can even cite you page 1.
Oh
2.
my god.
So anyway, here are their while he's counting pages or strokes, whatever he's doing.
Page 8. Page 8. There's a straight up boob.
Okay, so anyway, here's like this is them still in the shower having their lesbian sex encounter as it finally shows who they are: Charlie Mink, aka Hound, and Lena Petrov, aka Fox. Oh, she's giving a middle finger.
A mink?
Yeah.
A mink is not a vulpine or a canine.
That's mink with a K. This is MINC.
Oh, okay.
That makes it better.
So hold on, you said page 8, right? Where's the full-on
Yeah,
boob?
page 8.
Oh yeah, there. Yeah, full-on boob. Look at that.
Yep, full boob. I love how every single one of their dresses for like every page afterwards, not only they've got, they must be walking around in absolute like sub-zero fucking temperatures. With
Yeah,
how
there are
hard
some
everyone's
pokey
doing
nipples
this.
going on through this
Yeah.
comic.
Oh,
Man.
excuse me, but if you look at the Overstreet guide, those are called headlights.
Okay.
Actually,
Everyone's got their high beams on.
if you go to the alternative covers pages at the end quiz, yeah, there's more than some boobs. There's just
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of these type of comics out there. There's,
I love
and they sell.
The one image here of I can't tell if, which one is which, but the one in
I love how you think it matters. I love that.
It doesn't fucking matter. The one in the yellow dress, she's like got she's like wearing a dress, but like the area between her legs is like darkened, but then the area that's supposed to be like flesh, it's like you can see every internal contour of her entire body. It's like she's wearing nothing while she's wearing a dress. Dresses don't work like that.
Okay, so I'm not even trying to be salacious or titillating here. Chat. I'm just like, I came across this comic and I'm like, this is great. It's like the attempt to be as sexy as possible without getting labeled as a adult comic, it seems. Because it's not labeled as an adult comic, which is weird because there's full-on titties in it. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, page 22 has Fox ripping off her shirt and showing her tits when she transforms into Fox.
That'll show him how brave and independent I am, sort of.
Right?
Let me see, what else? Instead of just talking about, because there's a bunch of angry stuff that we have to cover next. So I figure why not cover some fun stuff for him?
Did you see what their license plate is?
No.
On their car?
No.
It's on page 26.
I've already closed the comic. What is it?
Johnny! We're looking at you, Johnny.
What?
On their license plate it says Hellcat.
Oh.
Is this comic written by you, Johnny?
It's just okay. So we're gonna go from obvious sex exploitation to out and out racism because fun. So here's
oh yeah, dude, look at that.
Here's we're done with that comic quiz. Put it away and put your pants back on, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, Midnight already said he finished, so
Jesus. This is Miss America Comics from 1944 from Timely. For those of you who don't know, this is pre-Marvel Comics. Timely is. So, I mean, there's Miss America, and what made me want to grab this is, I mean, come on, look at that cover. That's just, that's just great. It's classic. I mean, look at her little 1940s hairdo there and everything. I love it.
She's about to go do the Charleston.
Has it come up for you guys yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, amaze your friends and win new popularity. Learn judo, card tricks, hypnotism. This is the fun of old ads, guys. This is in the fighter's library of books you can buy are police jiu-jitsu, police wrestling, and scientific boxing.
Ooh. Scientific boxing.
Yes, amaze your friends and win new popularity through. This is great stuff. So here's
I wrote a book about that.
This is Miss America fighting the villain of this comic, Baron Shinto, the Gouger.
Oh no.
If you guys thought that the Australian hunter's little Aboriginal friend was pretty far gone from the 67 Spider-Man cartoon. Oh, this is so here they are at a prison camp. And you have the one Japanese prisoner who's coming up to the other Japanese printer that we later find out is, what was his name again? Captain Shinto or whatever, something Shinto.
Baron Shinto.
Two slinking Jap prisoners whisper to a great hulking brute. Word has reached us that one of the other camps have acted, Oh Excellency. Good. Ready. As soon as the guards look this way. These stupid Americans would never think that I would wound myself, but for every drop of my blood, hundreds of white dogs will die.
Why do they hate dogs? What
Right?
do dogs
Suddenly,
do?
the prison yard is brought to
Fucking
life
run,
with the sound
Jake.
of alarm. And up in the guard tower here, the two guards are talking to each other. He's like, keep them covered. It might be a scheme to do a break. I'm just hoping the monkeys even try it. Jesus. 1940s comics, man. Holy fuck. It's something else. So yeah, anyway, she gets involved and
I like how they're wearing race patty helmet. Or
I just had fun reading
Yeah.
something that is just so, I don't know. Hello?
So
Terrible.
of its time.
Oh,
Of its
God damn it. Did
time.
these guys drop again?
No,
No.
we're still here.
Oh, no, hold on. There we go. Okay. There.
All right.
All right.
We're here. You're the one that drops. We don't.
Says you.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
When you drop.
Ryan wanted to know if they're going to cook the white dogs.
Grisella's right. I love the look of these old comics. Yeah, that is a lot of the charm for me. Like, just looking at the cover, I'm like, I want to read this just for the look of it. It's got a really old school charm. You get that out of Shadow pulp stuff, too. The Shadow pulp stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it.
Ebony said was this FDR's favorite comic.
I love this. It's like, there he is down to the court. He keeps calling him a different name every time he talks to him. It's, he tosses him some food. Catch, Tojo. Thank you, please. Because he can't speak, with his pidgin English stuff, right? Oh, no, it's not food. It's a pack of cigarettes. So he takes out, please, a light. Here you are, Nip. Jesus. I'm quoting the comic. I'm not saying the words. Oh, man.
Yes, you are. You've said the words. You're just quoting a comic.
Yeah, and the way he asked for a cigarette, I didn't notice that in the previous panel. Please, as a question, do not wish to move hands. Appreciate if you cigarettes from pocket and permit me to smoke, please. Jesus fucking God.
Well, they spelled prees wrong.
They did. They did. And let me flip ahead to something that's just charmingly of the period here.
More than it already has.
Right.
Vortex and demonetized.
Joke's on them. We're already not monetized.
Yeah.
I think there's...
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. And by all means, if you'd like to see more of this kind of content, such as it is, please feel free to donate to our Streamlabs that Of All Potato is very generously putting up and has just done so. Thank you, Of All Potato. I'll just check. Nope, my Streamlabs are empty, so it's fine that they weren't up. Okay. In any case, here's the page. Look at what comes. There's 2 stories in this first comic, right? And at the end of the first... Fucking over 40 pages for 10 cents.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing. I mean...
Well, back then a dime was made out of silver.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, just chat, for those guys who don't know, it's like modern floppies are just rife with advertisements, number 1. Wasted double-page splash pages, number 2. And they only run 22, 23 pages. And they're $4 plus. I mean, it's just...
Oh, paper doll.
Yeah. Wild, huh? Because it's meant for girls or aimed at girls. So, a little paper doll that you cut out, cut here, cut there, and then the little flaps to wrap it around her. I'm like, that's hilarious. Wow, what a throwback to old comics to have something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I mean, I guess that it, the casual racism is funny, but it's just because of how dated it is. But it was also just fun to read because it was, original Stan Lee style of storytelling, very abrupt. Everything needs to happen quickly and within the words. Like, you know what I mean? Everything is moving at breakneck speed. So you see a narration box that'll say, And they were planning the jailbreak and decided to go right now. There's not 2 pages leading up to the jailbreak. It's just, it's got to happen, you know?
These days, it'd be an entire issue of them plotting it, just sitting around drinking coffee.
Drinking coffee, talking about their favorite kind of cake. And yes, absolutely.
So I see Johnny Hellcat just now arrived. Johnny, you need to go back and rewatch this stream a little bit. Yeah.
About 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, we got your number, bro. We got your number.
Okay, so there was that comic. Let's cover another story before we go on to other comics that I found that were either good or bad or somewhere in between. Hey, Mark Ruffalo's being a fucking prick again.
Oh, there's a shocker.
Oh man, we didn't even name our stream after him.
Oh yeah, good point. Good point. Motherfucker. Okay. From Vice. This has been covered by a number of people, but I decided on the Vice story that somebody generously sent over into hashtag CBC articles. Much appreciated. I'm going to start pulling up the names so people that do post stuff over at CBC articles, I can name them off and then I'll have it up. That kind of thing. Anyway, Mark Ruffalo to Boris Johnson. Keep the Hulk's name out of your mouth. Subheading, after the Prime Minister compared his Brexit strategy to the Hulk, Ruffalo dunked on him on Twitter. Oh yeah, Drew Schwartz talking about the dunk-in. He's one of the kids, you know.
Well, he's hip like that.
Yeah.
Let's see what Drew Schwartz looks like.
Boris Johnson has been having a rough time since he took office. Gee, I wonder why. You can explain why, Vice, you fucking commie bastards? No, I don't think you are you? The British Prime Minister has repeatedly failed to sway Parliament to agree to a no-deal Brexit. Yeah, it's because it's full of a bunch of whiny Remainers. Essentially, pulling out of the EU without reaching an agreement on how to go about it, becoming so unpopular politically that his own brother quit on him. Well, that is a really bad rendition of the facts at hand, but whatever. Let's get to the stuff that matters here, namely the jackass who literally thinks he is the Hulk. Johnson is apparently willing to try anything to make a quick exit from the EU happen, including the deeply inexplicable strategy of comparing Britain to the Hulk? ? You're a blog. Including the deeply inexplicable strategy of comparing Britain to the Hulk? ? That's not a news article. That's not professional writing.
I write how I talk.
In Twitter speak.
That's... Comic Cat. I have different... Quote, Banner might be bound in muscles. When provoked, he would explode out of them, Johnson told Britain's Mail on Sunday. Quote, Hulk has always escaped, no matter how tightly bound in he seems to be. And that is the case for this country. We will come out on October 31st and we will get it done. End quote. Seemingly intimating the way the Hulk speaks, Johnson added that the madder Hulk gets, the stronger Hulk gets. A nice stately piece of political commentary sure to ease tension in a nation that's freaking out about the future. Okay, Philly, I'm down with the Unfortunately for the PM, the authority on all things Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, denied.
No, he's not the authority.
The authority on all things Hulk? The motherfucker don't know what he's the authority on all things Pinko. Moron. Well, that guy's a moron. He just, I like trees and vegans and women in power, and the guy's a fucking space cadet.
Mark Ruffalo's first sentence there in that tweet is so pathologically wrong that it invalidates every single claim that this writer is making.
Okay. Ebony Williams over on the Streamlabs. Thank you very much, Ebony. Says, beat your current potato with reckless abandon and make the new computer watch.
It's the only way he learns.
Yeah, right?
That's just
Administer the ritualistic blow to the side of the casing.
that just it really makes me laugh because it's very bizarre imagery, you know? You're beating up your old computer going, looking at the new computer with this glare of evil. This could be you. Better act right.
This will be
And it's-
in 10 to 15 years.
Thank you very much, Ebony. It will go into the fund for a better, stronger potato. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah,
Well,
the
okay,
authority
Mark-
on all things Hulk. That's where we end.
Mark Ruffalo here, the first sentence he puts out in his tweet, Boris Johnson forgets that the Hulk only fights for the good of the whole. Wrong. You are fucking wrong, Mark Ruffalo. You are wrong. You are demonstrably wrong. Everything you think you know is wrong.
Yeah, let's talk about the quote that he says. Boris Johnson forgets the Hulk only fights for the good of the whole. Mad and strong can also be dense and destructive. The Hulk works best when he is in unison with a team, and it is a disaster when he is alone. Plus, he's always got Dr. Banner with science and reason. Okay, you are not an expert. Like, just you, Pinko Ruffalo, and you, Pinko Vice, are just in the middle of a circle jerk on each other right now. That's all that's happening. You're calling him an expert and blah, blah, blah. Like it's part of a whole. And he was talking about like unbridled force that can't and shouldn't be contained because of the destruction will happen if you attempt to contain it. It's going to break loose. That's the only reference he was making. Calm the fuck down, Ruffalo. Like, did you know that you're not actually the Hulk?
Yeah.
Are you aware that you don't speak on behalf of a fictional, non-existent character?
He knows that because the Hulk isn't a beta crybaby bitch.
The thing about it is, like, even I'm stuck on the first sentence, man. Only fights for the good of the whole. No, he doesn't. He's a rage of emotions that lashes out against anything and everything in his path.
Whoa. The Hulk is not an SJW.
Until later on, when they decide to Deus Ex Machina the character and make him part of a team with the Avengers, does he have any sort of modicum level of control over the Hulk? Okay, until then, when the Hulk hulks out, he hulks out. He destroys everything.
I'm holding it on this picture, which will come up in a second here. It's like porno boot camp inside the training ground for amateur porn actors.
We were just talking about
and I mean,
Fox and Hound. I mean,
huge titties sticking out in the whole 9 yards, and we were fucking worried that we might.
It's okay when Vice does it.
Yeah, I guess so. In any case, I thought that maybe. I thought that maybe he would have actually said that because it's like tells him to keep Hulk's name out of his mouth. I hadn't read Ruffalo's actual tweet. He doesn't. That's it. The only thing, it's like, in other words, this is the author of this so-called article talking now. In other words, keep the Hulk's name out of your mouth, you complete utter dingus. Actually wrote that as a professional, thinks of himself as a professional journalist, calls someone an utter dingus, by the way, the Prime Minister of Britain, you just called an utter dingus, and keep his name out of your mouth. Oh, he dunked on you. You're the one talking with this bullshit language. Ruffalo never even said those fucking things.
Okay, well, to be fair, I think that Ruffalo's kind of dumb, so he probably couldn't formulate that sentence. And I'm willing to bet $5 to Quiz and you, Polly, right now that Ruffalo has at some point drank his own pee.
I'd take that bet.
Yeah, no, you got no bet with me. And you know, if I had seen this tweet, and this story wasn't like a few days old at this point, there might have been a point in like tweeting back, and it's like, yeah, but the article that you're reading that from has Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk, not you.
Yeah.
You know why? Well, one, you can't actually play the Hulk because you're a skinny loser, pinko soy boy who doesn't have anywhere near the build or the acting acumen to play him. And you're not actually the Hulk. Multiple actors can play him. He's a fictional. Here's what the Hulk fights for, like what's good and the whole. Where I hear you, Chris. Where are you even getting that from? Like maybe if you were talking about Superman, you could make that kind of general argument, but not even then, because he fights for true justice in the American way, meaning individual liberty and freedom and so forth. Like not your pinko super state crap, which is what Ruffalo's arguing for. He just doesn't want to say it. You shouldn't want to be an independent nation, Britain. You should want to be part of the plan of a bunch of would-be authoritarians in Brussels, plans for a European superstate, and they don't like the fact that the money factory in London is leaving their grand project. And Ruffalo, being a huge commie pinko, can't stand that somebody isn't part of the collective whole. I'd love to hear Ruffalo's thoughts on how America should be bending over to the authority of the UN. Because I'll make a bet with you guys. He probably isn't all in favor of it.
Yeah,
of course he is.
I mean, that's one reason why I do kind of respect, at least, a lot. There's a lot of people that are critical of Obama, post his terms. One thing I've got to say, I very handsomely respect the man for, was the fact that the EU was doing a lot of internet censorship sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of pressure from the Guardian and a whole bunch of other places, including Brussels and the EU, for America to adopt the same draconian internet censorship laws. And Obama told him to take a long walk off a short pier. Mm-hmm. So I respect the shit out of that.
Yeah. It takes a lot of balls to stand up to people that powerful. So
Brussels is absolute garbage. Every single person in America should be making fun of the European Union until it inevitably dissolves when Britain finally leaves it.
Yeah, and because Mark Ruffalo is clearly for the EU, I am opposed to it.
I'm opposed to the EU because it's bankrupting and destroying countries like Greece.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's giving it's Germany's Fourth Reich. Let's
absolutely
be honest here. It's Germany's Fourth Reich.
Yeah, Germany's going to be running most of Europe. But hey, Brexit now. I'm all for it. Let's do this Halloween day. Let's do it. Let's do it, England. Come on.
Yep. I'm still in this Midnight Exile since Polly's turning green. Get me, it's two things at once that I can't stand. One much more so than the other. Ruffalo, I think of as a moron and a fool. He epitomizes so much of the Hollywood champagne socialism thing, but is he really that bad? I don't know. I just love busting that guy's balls because he seems like there's nothing really much underlying it. I'm like, every interview that I've ever seen of him in a video, and every interview I've ever seen him in terms of a written character profile of him, like in Hollywood Reporter and such, there isn't really much underlying what he's saying. It's
just kind of a stupid douchebag.
Yeah, like enlightenment and going ahead and if any of you ever watch Steven Crowder, he does a devil's advocate thing where he plays a given role of a super woke pinko hipster named Skylar Turden. And it's
is that a play on Tyler Durden?
Yep.
Right.
And it's like, Skylar is kind of, and Turden, and, you get it, right? And he's got the coexist thing tattooed down his arm, whereas Flannel has a hipster mustache, sits there and blows vape clouds the whole time he's talking, has a knit cap on. He's supposed to be and he plays the devil's advocate. He brings on people and interviews them, and then brings up these points about, I don't identify as an American citizen, okay? I identify as a citizen of the world. Because aren't we going for a common morality? Like, it's just vague, stupid, based on nothing. That's the shtick that Crowder is playing. That's who Mark Ruffalo seems like to me.
He is the embodiment of that. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't. So in that, he's kind of harmless. The only harm that he causes is that he has a large platform. So therefore, might be convincing some people, unfortunately, that these are good ideas when there actually isn't any real idea there. There's just vague well-wishings that have very little to do with stuff outside of his bizarre imagination. You know, now when it comes to Marxism, oh yeah, I'll turn green. It's super statism and a lack of individual freedoms and stuff. Yeah, you're damn right. Ooh, you should bow to the good of the whole. Oh, like you do, Mark Ruffalo, living in a gated community, being followed around by armed guards, not wanting to mill with the little people, but more than willing to inform them of how they should be living their lives.
Oh yeah.
Fuck off.
Rules for thee and not for me.
So while we're on this same thing, we might as well go check out a Vox article, huh?
Oh God.
I know, but I kind of want to get this stuff out of the way.
Vice and Vox. You mean they're different?
Well, yeah. The fight over the Joker and the new movie's dangerous message explained.
Oh, fuck off!
It's explained to you, stupid, by Alex Abad Santos.
Go fuck yourself, Alex Abad Santos.
Oh, James Polly informed us that he's got pictures of Laura Harrier getting tag teamed by Mark Ruffalo and Jason Momoa.
That's not true. Man, you keep your Rule 34 shit out of my face. Oh my God. That's horrifying. The subtitle for this is Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is a subject of a furious debate amongst leftist liberals like myself that are trying to make something out of nothing because we get paid to bitch. The second part of that, it doesn't say, but it might as well have.
Yeah.
And it hasn't even been released yet. Yeah, that tells you a lot. Let's make a lot out of nothing, right?
I say these people losing their shit about this movie has like made it absolutely clear that people are going to go see it.
Yeah, I'm totally going to see it now in the theater.
On my opening night, I'll see it multiple times.
What was the? I mean, look at the side articles.
No, unfortunately not.
No. Well, they just picture of Benjamin Netanyahu, and it says Israel's election results show Netanyahu is in serious trouble. Oh, did he lose? Oh, he didn't. But you know, we're Vox, so their never-ending the left's never-ending problem with the Jews. It's fascinating. Why they hate the Jews so much?
I think you mean hatred.
What did I say?
You said problem.
Oh. The astonishing advantage the Electoral College gives to Republicans in one chart.
Yeah, that's how Obama won twice.
Yeah, and if it does give them an advantage, you know why? Because maybe Democrats don't appeal to anyone outside of the coastal areas or big cities. Just some food for thought.
A really long time.
You know, why don't take a look at a graph that shows you the counties that won in 2016? Maybe you'll see an entire map full of red, and then a whole bunch of blue counties where, clustered in and around coastal cities and major large cities in the Midwest. Like, why it's almost like they've only got a small appeal where you need a massive bureaucracy of handouts. Anyway, we're not here to talk about politics. We're here to talk about these idiots' rantings about a movie that hasn't even come out yet.
That now we're all going to go see.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for the free advertising, I'm sure, is their perspective.
Right.
Really quick, over on Streamlabs, Johnny Hellcat, thank you. Who the fuck says dingus unironically? Right? The guy from the last article called Boris a dingus.
No, I said dinker, and it was ironic. This is a funny word. I find it hilarious. I only say things that are funny to me.
Is this article terribly long? Vox
Yeah,
tends
it's
to be
probably
extremely long-winded. Oh my God, look at all the fucking tweets in the middle of it.
Yeah, you know, it's just a bunch of crybabies on Twitter.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Jack, they're quoting it. They put up Heather Ontos's tweet.
Of course they did.
Oh my God.
That is news to these people, is the fact that people are talking about something on Twitter.
Yeah.
How could the title have been any more accurate for the show unintentionally? Blogs as news.
Intentionally or just subconsciously?
Yeah. I didn't read this article before. I'm like, from the title and subtitle, I'm like, okay, let's see what Vox has to say about this. You're putting up Heather Antos's tweets as news.
Sure. Like Quiz said, this is news to them. They don't go out and do anything. They just sit on Twitter all day.
They're
Fucking hell.
speculating about a trailer. Their opinion is as valid as literally anyone on the street. Okay?
Yeah.
It's just that they have a website from which to post their things. You know what? You know who else has websites who post their opinion on things and can have a following? Literally any blogger. You are no different.
Well, it's even worse than that. Any movie critic on YouTube has the same exact opportunity as these clowns. They're probably not even getting paid as much.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do my damnedest to pile through this. Let's just see. Remain calm quiz. Okay.
No.
I read ahead. You are the reed. Trouble blows through you like the wind. Okay.
I'm not going to make that guarantee.
Joker, a glimpse into the life of Batman's psychotic arch-nemesis, has somehow become one of the most reviled and most defended movies of the year a month before being released in theaters. It comes out on October 4th. Starring Joaquin Phoenix and directed by Todd Phillips, the movie has already been deemed dangerous by vocal critics, akin to an incel training manual. To some of the movie's fans, those critical reviews and negative reactions are just another example of social justice warrior overreach. What's more striking, if not surprising, about this nascent debate, okay, fuck your use of M dashes, those are supposed to be N dashes when inside of a sentence, and fuck you with your use of the word nascent. You could have just said about this debate, put down the thesaurus.
Dude, when you get a word of the day calendar for Christmas, you have to show that you're using it, okay?
That's true. But I mean, it just... is the only people who have seen the movie thus far are select film critics and festival goers. But most of the conversation around Joker is between those who haven't seen it. Have you seen it? Akbar Santos? What's your name? Abad Santos. Joker could be a validation for violent glory seekers is the headline. The backlash of the Joker's not familiar. He's a ghoulish figure. The peculiar part of the backlash is the debate is based on the premise of the movie and the film's two major trailers. Okay, you still haven't talked about the thing yet. The trailer is edited to convey a digestible linear origin story of the Joker. Skipping down to the next topic. I'm just reading topic sentences. Flex social awkwardness is emphasized throughout the trailer. Down to the next one. You don't listen, do you? Fleck tells an escalating voiceover as a shot of him in a SoundCloud costume plays up. You just ask the same questions every week. Because of how he's being treated, Fleck goes from a mostly harmless nobody to a villainous somebody. If society treated him better, the trailer seems to assert the Joker would have never existed. I think you're reading into that. The Joker's most vocal critics thus far have been concerned that in the United States' current climate, giving the spotlight to a character emboldens and galvanizes a type of thinking that can inspire mass shooters. And they use Heather Antos's retweet of Rachel Miller to get it. Why the Joker movie is problematic. Rachel Miller nails it. And I'm not going to read this stuff out. You guys can go look it up. It's anything, cis white male bad. Cis white males bad. They're wild animals on the verge of exploding at any second, and we need to keep a close eye on them and not allow them video games or movies because, So
what you're saying is that somebody will do something bad to get attention, like, I don't know, the press covering a school shooting or a mass shooting event, and the way they hound on it for 24/7 for 3 or 4 weeks. Like that.
We could get in. I mean, we're delving into politics now, like right off of.
Well, no, that's what their argument is.
I hear you. They're attempting to okay, quiz. Mm-hmm. What have we said again and again when high profile sources, because we can't call these news sources, and I won't. Vox gets quoted places, but that's just crime, in my opinion. When they talk about comics and movies, why are they doing it? What are the two reasons?
First, or a progression of Their promotion of whatever
Their politics.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's either progressive or it's a first. It's the only time they ever talk about this stuff. Only time. When you go back just a little bit, the Mary Sue was not talking about movies as constantly as they do. They just got to a hyped point where, okay, now we're about this thing. The invasion of hobbies, right? For the use of, well, we can sneak a message in here, butts in the seats. Remember that one?
Yeah, butts in the seats. It's a way to sneak in your social justice message.
I mean, I don't want to watch I don't want to watch a well-intentioned but unstable man get bullied until he turns into a mass murderer. That is the story that Jack just described and is watched intently by the majority of mass shooters. And you're saying that this is going to trip them off. Nobody has put mass shootings into the public consciousness any more than the news media has. Nobody. And they won't stop doing it. They won't stop profiling shooters if they fit the narrative of the angry loner white male. Because when it doesn't fit that narrative, they don't talk about it. It disappears quickly. And the only use that it serves is a need for more gun control. This is how you can get Don Lemon saying America has a white male terrorist problem. And the son of a bitch isn't fired like the minute the cameras turn off.
To be fair, he didn't get fired when he said a black hole ate an airplane.
Yeah. I mean, it just, the only time that these things come up, I agree with you completely, Jack. It's not, the news media pumps this up more than anybody. You bastards talk about this more than anybody. You bastards at Vox talk about this more than anybody.
He said a black hole ate an airplane?
Don Lemon? Yeah.
The Malaysia airplane that disappeared, he put out the theory that a black hole ate it. That some came up with. You never saw that clip? I'll find it for you. Oh my God.
That's funny.
I love this. David Lowe punch Nazis. The new Joker movie is starting to look like a sympathetic tale of a wronged by society white dude and their entitlement to violence. Entitled white men, am I right? Fuck you, Twitter warrior. Fuck you. And the thing that kills me is that you can't get mad about these things because I myself, as a straight white cis male, gets angry over it, and then they point at that anger. Yeah, it's not like me saying, Heather Ontos, honey, why aren't you making a man a sandwich? Nobody cares about your thoughts with your tiny girl brain. What's she going to react like? Angry, because that's incredibly insulting. Yeah, I wonder why, is that proof of the stereotypes of women and their hysterics? Or is that because you were particularly insulted? No wonder white men get fucking angry at this depiction of every angry white male. America would be bathed in blood, which it's not. A country with 1/3 billion people in it. Does it really have the bloodbath in the streets? No. You want to see what a bloodbath looks like? Look at the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This has turned into politics. I'm sorry. It fucking kills me when they... This isn't even about the Joker. This is just...
Yeah, they're making it about the politics.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we even started talking about this shit in the first place. Because, and here's where I feel like we can probably diverge a little bit and clarify the whole Comicsgate thing, right? Because Comicsgate, for the most part, some people say it's to take out politics in comics. It's not necessarily about the politics. It's about reading in politics where there are none. Right?
Yeah.
The Joker is a story about a man who's pushed to the brink and snaps and becomes a villain. Okay? That's a good story for being a villain. These people are trying to ascribe these things like mass shootings to something that hasn't even fucking come out yet. How narcissistic do you have to be to think that your opinion of something that isn't even viewable by the general population is the correct one? Not only that, is the societal trend that will follow in the wake of this movie that you haven't even seen.
Well, they do get into this, and like I took the article off the screen because I'm just done going into it. There's only like Vox is the pseudo intellectual website blog You know, we use the words and we're going to go into an analysis, and it's not really an analysis. I mean, is it really shocking that Carlos Maza was employed here until even that bastard got himself fucking fired? Well, I'm sorry, that brave and beautiful soul was let go by that evil company that didn't understand his wokeness.
I think
they talk here, Quiz, about the glorifying the abusive relationship that the Joker has with Harley Quinn, straying into glamorization. And it's like, yeah, but did you guys carry on this much about that over 50 Shades of Grey? That's not an abuse. It's a literally abusive relationship. Oh, well, there's consent there. Yeah, so's Harley. No, it's a classic abuser thing. You guys just fuck off with the reading into art so you have something to write about on your blog. That's the Mary Sue. That's Vox. It's reading into shit so you have something to write about on your blog, connecting it to something that's in pop culture, because that will get the butts in the seats. Now we'll talk endlessly about our fucking worldview and political message.
Yeah, our social justice.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing. You know what this smacks of to me, right? Is that every single one of these articles, every single fucking one of them, all right, reads like a 17-year-old stressing out and just desperately trying to hammer out the biggest, longest string of bullshit to write their term paper.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they
every
read,
single.
They read crazily, like intensely long. Yeah, they do stretch out. I mean, that's why I was just reading topic sentences for the first page and a half just to get to the fucking point. Because it's just rambling.
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying the fact that it's the fact that they're incoherently stringing points together, trying to make themselves seem smart to get that A. Gotta get that A.
Really quick, over on the Streamlabs, Evolve Potato says, "Thank you, Evolve Potato. What would really make the Joker movie work would be at the end if the therapist says that this was the 10th time he's changed, and what would make him into the Joker." Hold on, I want to read that over again. What would really make to Joker movie work out would be at the end a therapist says that it was the 10th time he's changed. What would make him into the Joker?
Yeah, he changed his story 10 times as to his origin.
So what exactly is it that made him the Joker? Like, my God, at this point?
Well, that's the whole thing, right? I mean, the hands down the best episode of Batman the Animated Series of all time was Mad Love, in my opinion, at least, and in a lot of people's opinion. Mad Love, Batman brings up, when Harley's, talking about how the Joker revealed things to her that he never told anyone ever. He goes, "Oh, was it the one about the abusive father, or was it the alcoholic mother? What was that one thing he told that one social worker? Yes. There was only one time I ever saw my dad truly happy, and that was when he took me to the ice show when I was 7. And then Harley goes, "Circus. He said it was the circus." So yeah, that's the point of the Joker. The Joker is manipulative. He's he's charismatic. He's everything that everyone wants to be, but everyone has the inhibition, or has the inhibition to remain in polite society, right? Everyone has that dark sadistic fantasy that they want to say that they can reach out and touch and be, right? But everyone knows that, number one, it's the societal constraints within, the fact that you have consequences. You go to jail, you get, punished for the things that you do. But also it's the fact that there's a moral compass that you can grow up with, and you are, learned, or however you want to philosophically define it. The Joker is the great equalizer in the fact that everyone can sit there and say, well, this is who I can imagine myself being if things went horribly, horribly wrong. And that is the reason why the stories that involve the Joker are so gripping, so important, so I guess, have the weight that they do. And when these people try to overanalyze it and say that it's an excuse for straight white men, you are simplifying it down to a point where it has lost all of the art and the gravity that the storytellers are trying to put forth. You have invalidated Paul Dini's absolutely amazing work in Mad Love by saying his abusive relationship with Harley Quinn. And it's insulting. It's insulting.
I think they're it's even worse than that. I think they're mad that they didn't make the Joker black. And they wouldn't have got away with that because him putting on blackface would have been really bad. Yeah, he would have looked like Justin Trudeau.
It's these people don't understand art. They don't.
Well, they don't understand a lot of things. A lot of these people seem to really be hung up on the fact they have very little life experience. And they're so busy in their little enclave, they don't go out and look at things. And they don't go out and experience things. So they don't interact with a lot of people outside of their circle, like bitter, disenfranchised people. They don't have friends that are different than them. So they don't understand people. And when you don't understand anything about people of different backgrounds, you don't really understand their motivations.
Okay, so hold on. Let's be done with that fucking article, and I'm gonna talk about this one, but I really don't want to get that fucking angry over it because this is just this next article is just Princess Weeks over at the Mary Sue being an out and out racist. So I don't even want to give her, if this is even a real person, which I doubt it is. I don't even want to give this person. Princess Weeks, you are a horrible, bitter racist who covers up your incredible, angry bigotry by saying you're the one on the moral high ground. When I say you nauseate me, I don't mean that as just a saying. I mean you actually make me feel physically sick. I would love to shout this person down in a personal, debate. I would love to just start every fucking point of, as sickened as I am to be on this stage with somebody so hateful, someone so bitter, someone so bigoted as Princess Weeks, who goes around parading herself as if she's royalty, to act as if she's above the angry, base, back alley, basement level racism that spews force as vomit does out of someone's mouth onto a keyboard every time she types. As sick as that makes me, I'm here to debate not her, but for the audience to see how to share in my fucking nausea. A group commiseration that we might see clearly how sick people like this person actually are. And we are, I would say to the audience, we are actually blessed at this moment to have an embodiment of the social justice crap on stage with us here today, to be able to speak from this level of fucking stupidity. Because it takes someone really fucking stupid, really lost to higher levels of thinking, to barf out, spray out of her ass like so much diarrhea, this level of embittered racism and not see it for exactly what it is. Bitter fucking racism. Now, where would I get all this fucking hostility towards somebody who's so unapologetically racialist in her thinking? Well, I will just take one fucking paragraph from this crap fucking article that she wrote. One paragraph is enough.
Sounds good.
I think Polly really hates cats.
Rumor mill. Magneto and Professor X are to be people of color in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? ? Written by the aforementioned. We can skip past this because they talk about this as the rumor going forth that they might be played by actors of color and so forth. Now she gets down to this where she actually says, fucking blow. Now, quoting this week's. This might come as a surprise, but I only think this half works. I think making Eric, A visibly Romani Jewish man would be super important and a good way to counter the whitewashing casting fail that was Scarlet Witch / Wanda. Okay, read beyond that. He didn't look Jewish enough for her. Did you miss the hook nose, Princess Weeks? It wasn't there for you? He didn't have his hands cupped together counting money? He wasn't Jewish enough for you? He didn't cackle wondering where your rent was in the slums he owned? What would have been Jewish enough for you?
George Costanza.
I can't believe you actually said that. That flows. He didn't look Jewish enough, and neither did Wanda. As an Ashkenazi Jew, I think they could have Are you fucking kidding me? He wasn't a short, fat, portly, but he wasn't a fucking stereotype right out of fucking Nazi propaganda from the 30s, so you didn't recognize him as being Jewish? Are you fucking serious? I think you could also choose a mixed race Jewish person, but I think it would be important to actually cast someone with Jewish ancestry, which could be someone of any racial group. Oh, she's woke now because it's someone of Romani, because now it's just alone. It's not an ethnic understanding of someone. Someone can't be a cultural Jew or an ethnic Jew. They can only be religious Jews. Well, thanks for waking us up, Princess Weeks. I'm sure the non-religious people in Israel would argue with you about that. But, hey, let's go on to where she really breaks through with the wokeness. This is all it's going to be.
Okay.
As for Charles Xavier, I think he works better as a white guy because of his relationship to power. Charles is a manipulator, in many ways, who has taken advantage of young people and turned them into child soldiers. So therefore, he works better as a white man. Did you see what that bitch just said?
What?
I would think a Congolese warlord.
That is
is
precisely what came to mind. You use the word child soldiers and you didn't think of the fucking Congo. You didn't think of East Timor. No, you just don't want that ugly association. So instead you applied it to the white guy.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's a bad thing, so it's got to be a white guy.
When you read Professor X in the comics, there is a lot of privilege that he has that I think makes his optimism about human-mutant relationships so viable in his mind. He also has a very colonial mentality, molding these kids into his idea of what it means to be a good mutant. What I do think would work better, that you keep Charles white, but diversify the rest of the X-Men. And I'm done, because if you can read that and think that's woke, not see base racism from this person, I don't see what you would see as racism.
You know what pisses me off the most about all of this right now? The way that you guys have been describing Powers of X. House of X. The first, I've only got the first issue, so take that for what you will. And all of the stuff that I've been the problem that I've been having with it, right? The fact that the X-Men are isolationist, that they're acting more like the Brotherhood than the X-Men, right? You know who that book is written for? What I just described there, the X-Men acting like the Brotherhood. It's written for Princess Weeks. You want villains, Princess Weeks. You don't want the X-Men.
They want militant separatists.
They very much are militant separatists who are trying to create their own utopia. But for that utopia, yeah, they're absolutely militant as fuck. I mean, Magneto saying, meet your new god, that kind of gods, meaning them, the mutants. But yeah, you're not wrong. There's a lot to read in there. It's scary and fucked up. It's only when the Moira thing took over that it started to get a little bit interesting. What the fuck are you even doing here? I still don't know. In any case, I've heard about the Professor X Magneto thing being played by people of color. I was honestly surprised that she was willing. Like, I mean, it's just so out and out racist. I'm looking at chat and it's like Mustafa saying, go fuck yourself. Jack Gunsky saying, this is so fucking enraging. How? I mean, groupthink is surprisingly powerful. That you can be surrounded by people who are all agreeing with you, that you can write stuff like that. And this is woke. This is to fight racism. Are you fucking serious? How the
I'm sure Rachel Leishman was just sitting there just nodding sycophantically while Princess Weeks was saying, "Oh, this'll get him."
Yeah.
I mean,
To be fair, I think
he's white, he's powerful, he's privileged, he's a colonialist. He tries to bring all of the diverse mutants under him and force them to think a certain way of what he thinks good is. Child soldiers. Did you just hear all the fucking things that you said, you racist bitch? Like, maybe you're not racist. Maybe you think you just need to write this way. Maybe this is a character, but there's, like, you're writing in character. But there's no way for any clear-minded person, Princess Weeks, whoever you are, to read this and not see you as anything but an embittered racist. And it's going to bring a lot of anger out of people. The way it did with me, the way it did with chat.
Mm-hmm. I say Mustafa hits the nail right on the fucking head there. He says Charles goes out of his way to give mutants a better life in a world that fucking hates them. But no, that's not what she focuses on. Oh my God. She sickens me.
That's what I'm saying. It's so angry because what do you do about it? This is seen as woke. This is edgy wokeness. And it's like, no, this is just out and out racism. This is just racial theory. Nothing more. There's nothing good going on here. It's sitting around thinking about race so much that saying shit like this becomes okay because everyone around you's not arguing, I'm guessing. I don't know. Sorry, Jack.
It's disgusting.
What'd you say?
So this is woke like the Klan is woke. I like Odin's idea in chat, though. He said Ben Shapiro as Magneto. I'd watch that.
A little 4'8" Magneto, who's just powerful as fuck. Yeah. I never pictured like, Magneto speaking at that rate, but okay.
Married to a doctor.
Right? I mean, you need somebody who's Romani, like who's visibly Romani Jewish. Oh my God, woman.
What does that even mean?
Yeah,
they want someone swarthy.
Yeah, it's like we need a swarthy person, someone who hopefully has a hunchback, a big hook nose. Like, you are thinking a bunch of really ugly stereotypes, aren't you? Aren't you?
There were a lot of Romani that looked just straight up European, and Elizabeth Olsen looks straight up European.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen is the way that they did her makeup and everything. Yeah, she doesn't look like an Eastern European girl at all. No, she does. Oh, they just straight whitewashed her. I mean, Wanda is white. Well, she's not that kind of white. She's this different kind of white. Princess Weeks, you are a racialist nut. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like they said they whitewashed Wanda. I'm like, Wanda, she is white. What are you talking about? But she's not the proper Eastern European white. Like, you guys just think too much about race. You're fucking lost at this point. You're saying shit that doesn't even make sense anymore.
There's plenty of Romani that look a lot like any Eastern European person. And they did a good job with Elizabeth Olsen to make her look European. I thought she looked pretty hot, too. So I think they're just overreacting, and they're looking for racial stereotypes. Like, that's what's really sickening, is they want to go back to like caricatures, and that's the only acceptable way to look. No,
God help you if you do blackface.
Yeah, because that's kind of how they want things to look from the sound of it.
It's no, they want whiteface.
Yeah,
I mean, here, I guess we should have covered this Joker article earlier, but then again, I don't even want to fucking cover this Joker article. Will we ever get a sexually fluid Joker on screen? Or should we?
Go fuck yourself.
Like, what are you even talking about? What the fuck are you even talking about? Your fucking blog. Are you...
The only reason why Joker even needs to have a sex orientation at all is because of Harley. That's it.
Yeah, Ebony asks, there's an official kind of white? Good question. I don't think there is.
Oh my God.
Like a sexually fluid Joker. It's in CBR exclusives. What the fuck?
CBR is garbage, man. Every single thing that they put out is absolutely terrible, except for one thing, one very important thing. I'm not sure if you put it up on the tab, and if you haven't, shame on you, Polly. They advocate for an America Chavez MCU movie.
Why, you mean this tab right here that's sitting next to it? The MCU needs to add America Chavez sooner rather than later. And this is also a CBR exclusive.
It does. I 100% agree with you, CBR. Please give us that America Chavez movie. If for those, okay, if I haven't been 100% painfully clear about my want and need for an America Chavez movie, I think like unironically, number one, I think it's going to be a hilarious train wreck. Number two, for those of you who are subscribers to Polydub, and for those of you just now checking out, subscribe to Polydub. What are you doing? But
I was in
Also
mid-drink, you
subscribe to being
bastard.
quizzed.
there is a video that Polydub did way long ago. We're talking like when he and I first met on Ranting Monkey's Discord, all those, fucking years ago now. I think it's 2 years now. Where he did a video about the sex junk and why it's a good thing.
Oh,
For those that don't know, the sex junk that I'm referring to is the Bill Nye the Science Guy, Bill Nye Saves the World skit about the My Sex Junk Is So Oh, that horribly cringy song.
Yeah.
Okay. He makes an extremely good point in that video, even though I was the one that gave him the get out bit. Okay. So he makes a very good point in that video. That is my point for why I want an America Chavez movie. It will give all of the normies, all right, the idea about why social justice is fucking cancer.
Yeah.
And it'll be an MCU movie, so everyone will see it and talk about it. Okay.
They will.
But it will be
The best
so
part is
awful.
that it'll be like the first gay superhero, like gay Latina superhero, right? But that will be changing her from the comics, like the Gabby Rivera canon of America Chavez, so much that they meaning CBR, Mary Sue, Fox, everyone's going to have to complain about it because that character is woke beyond woke. I mean, for those of you who don't know, she's a gay Latinx because Gabby Rivera, that gendered language of Latino, Latina, she prefers Latinx. She's the first gay Latinx superhero she's first of all not human. She's from another planet that's of all women. So they're all lesbians there and she's extra dimensional. It's not like a planet out in like another solar system. It's another dimension where two lesbian goddesses birthed that universe to give birth to a planet full of lesbians that birthed her. And like it's just gay as gay. Like it's so. I remember Mustafa back in the day when I was describing the comic typed, "Okay, we get it, Gabby, you're gay." It's like, yeah, I know. She can't write enough of it in there. They're gonna have to go full bore, and if they don't, like meaning all of those details of America Chavez will have to be included, and if they're not, all the woke people online will be complaining that they didn't include all that woke shit.
Well, so I'm just saying, if 4chan was able to, 4chan's CO was able to get a letter printed in the America Chavez book, that's not a lie, that actually happened, by the way, people. What do you think is going to be their response to an America Chavez movie?
Yeah, I mean, and this article by Eric Gummany, I think that's how you pronounce the last name. It's just with an expansive multiverse finally on the table, soaring cosmic adventures are all but guaranteed. There's a very public push towards more diversity and better representation in films. It's not very public. It's you and your friends doing it. That's it. Yes. And it's Tiki Watiki wanting to be down and doing it too. That's a very public push. You wish it was that way, but it's not. People think that this shit right here.
I'm pushing for it.
Hey, look at this. There's Tiki Watiki right here. Confirms which Thor is the star of Love and Thunder. I mean, he's the one who's in. But I mean, this article is just like, oh, I love, get this quiz. And why not bring her into the MCU? A perennial fan favorite. What? What? Of who?
No, my favorite bit, I was on 4chan's CO just a little while ago, right? And someone brought up America Chavez and said, is this book as bad as everyone says it is? Or is everyone just like, posturing, is just doing it to wreck the feminists? And like, it was a nigh universal response saying, no, the book is as terrible as everyone says it is.
Oh, it's usually so much worse than what they say.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Look what trending now. I know you guys kind of can't see it. It's Amazing Spider-Man's Nick Spencer Helms Spider-Man 2099 comic. Don't remind me. It's right around the corner, guys.
They're gonna ruin it.
Yeah,
Yes, they are.
I'm a huge. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge fan of Miguel O'Hara and the Spider-Man 2099 character. I think he's great.
Excuse me, his name is Miggy.
It is Miggy. You're right. And it's just woke Marvel, like, and the woke writer Nick Spencer. If you guys haven't, if you want to know how bad Nick Spencer can be, watch the little review that we did on Amazing Spider-Man, 26 and 27. It's a few videos back on my channel here, and it's crap. It's pure bullshit in terms of
garbage.
Yeah, in terms of like feminist promotion. It's literal replacement theory. It's just taking a bunch of the Sinister Six, replacing them with female characters. Literally, like Electro becomes female Electro, Beetle becomes female Beetle. Like it just, you know what I mean? And they all sit around and talk about how feminist they all are and how for girl power they all are. And that guy, Nick Spencer, wrote it. So we can fully expect this relaunch of Spider-Man 2099 that I would love in any other era and by any other writer is now going to happen. I can only imagine how awful it's going to be.
Yep.
Yeah, Vortex says, I love the 2099. I know. Marvel Cyberpunk is just cool, but Quiz warned me. He said, come on, man, you really think it's going to be good in this era? And then I thought, oh yeah. Oh no. And then it turned out to be as bad could get because this guy, Nick's filming it. Nightmare. It's going to be awful.
I told you, he ruined Captain America. He ruins everything he touches.
For those of you who don't know, he's the one who made Captain America. He wrote that whole Captain America undercover with Hydra for years. He was a sleeper agent. So, you want to talk about like people like out of touch and attempting to do what this thing really reveals when it wasn't a win for them. They're going to tell you what it really means, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is a mainstream publication, so they're talking about something nerdy. So what does it mean? Well, they're either going to promote ideology or it's a first. So we go over to The Guardian because oh my God, The Guardian, am I right? Can shifting to a female-focused future overcome Terminator Dark Fate's bad buzz? That's why it has bad buzz. What the fuck? No, I mean, seriously, how have you not caught on to this? That's exactly why it has bad buzz. What's wrong with you?
Well, when you know you're a zealot, Polly. When your life is to die for the cause, right? There is no accepting of a possibility you could be wrong.
Yes, yeah. All you know, that's what is meant by the metaphor, the hill you want to die on, right? You're going to stay here and fight this thing until you're dead because this piece of figurative ground you're on is that important. Yeah, fair enough. Good point. I mean, the pages of Hollywood are littered with failed attempts to propel movies towards blah, blah, blah. On the other hand, blah, blah, blah.
Well, wait, I was going to say, I thought we didn't need any more male-led movies that Solo was proof of it.
Yeah. I mean, this entire first paragraph, I mean, it talks about Blade Runner, it talks about Edgar Rice Burroughs books like, John Carter. It fails to make big budget things successful specifically because they're big budget, even though the executives of Blade Runner thought it wouldn't work, etc. And then it goes down to Terminator 2 Judgment Day. We're in the second paragraph. They haven't even got to the point of what they're talking about. Third paragraph. It's fair to ask why audiences have failed to get turned on by advanced publicity. Trailers showing the return of Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor, now protecting a new protege, Natalia Reyes, Diney Ramos, from Terminator by sophisticated machines from the future have been relatively well received, have they? I think you need to go check the downvotes.
Right? No, that is. I love how they sneakily use those weasel words there. It's not the movie's fault, guys. It's not our fault. It's the audience. Blame them. They're the terrible ones. What's wrong with this audience?
Perhaps audiences have simply turned out too many times to catch previous sequels, the middling, dreadful Terminator 3. Yeah, it's the audience, right? But then they get to the point. An even more unpalatable prospect is that the possible dark fate is suffering from the kind of misogynist backlash that affected the 2016 Ghostbusters remake.
Oh no. Oh no, it's misogyny.
Isn't it great?
Did they not learn this lesson from Ghostbusters? Nope.
Dark fate is almost as heavily focused on female protagonist, with everyone's new favorite sci-fi queen, Mackenzie Davis, joining the cast as a human.
Who?
Yeah, what are you fucking talking about? There has been the usual vile response from sexist trolls in the wake of Paramount publishing images of its 3 female stars front and center on the posters. Even if such a predictably myopic antipathy hasn't made the kind of headlines that Ghostbusters or Star Wars The Last Jedi did in similar circumstances.
Jedi, yeah, it's a Jedi.
The Last Deadeye. What seems certain is that he and Connor are no longer at the heart of Terminator's future. But in Dark Fate, it is a young woman, a young POC woman. It doesn't say that, but I just added that in. And the Terminator, who's also a Hispanic, is killing a bunch of ICE agents in the trailer. Should we read something into that? Because that actually is what happens in the trailer if you've seen it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, y'all suck. I think you guys are so obvious that you don't even realize that you're being fucking obvious.
Well, subtlety is not a skill they possess.
And and that's it. It's
my
like
soggy knees, Polly.
If that is what is bothering the trolls, and there are hints in the latest trailer that Danny may be the mother of a future resistance leader rather than herself, then surely it holds some hope for the rest of us. This might be a belated attempt by Cameron to wrest Terminator from the men in suits and put it back on track. And frankly, it would have been preferable if he could have bothered to find more time to direct or even to turn up on set. Wow, you got a lot of balls. But at least he's finally switching up the narrative and sending us into unknown territory with the apparent aim of delivering a new trilogy of movies. As Hamilton's Connor tells us at the end of Terminator 2, blah, 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 meaningful stuff that we want you to interpret. And this person writes for The Week in Geek. Go to hell. The Week in Geek, the Week in ideology as seen through pop culture.
Yeah.
Every week we go through this, guys. Like, people wonder why we focus on this stuff. It's like, well, we can't get away from it.
Yep.
Will we ever get a sexually Joker? Jesus. Did y'all watch the...
No. So long as Harley Quinn is part of the story, no, you won't ever get a sexually fluid Joker. Deal with it.
Well, yeah, I guess they could just go back to the old stuff of... their abusive relationship. It's not worth talking about.
Mr. Monopoly asked Sarah Connor died between 2 and 3. How is she still alive? Everything after 2 is being thrown away.
Right. Yeah. This is a sequel to 2.
Yeah, it's a new sequel to 2 where they're probably going to kill off John Connor, which is one of the reasons why I'm not going to be going and seeing this movie.
That's been basically confirmed. He dies in the first 5 minutes. They have an actor that they digitally de-age. What's his name?
Edward Furlong.
To make him look like he did, like near the end of Terminator 2, and he's killed in the first 5 minutes.
So it invalidates every single Terminator movie. Okay, cool. Yeah I'm not going to see this movie.
So here's a comic that I kind of liked. Like, just we got to talk about something fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even my fun has to get fucking ruined. You know what I mean? Tommy Gun Wizards from Dark Horse Comics. You guys ever heard of it?
I heard the title. I haven't read it.
It's sort of an interesting take on the whole thing, like on the noir era, which you guys know I like, and Chicago gangsters and stuff like that. Rainy detective stories, underground stuff, but this includes a lot of magical realism in it. Vampires, werewolves, people who are able to master low magic. Low magic, not high magic, like, Doctor Strange style, but low magic. They're able to get incantations that heal on a low level, that kind of thing, right? But it's all worked pretty seamlessly into this backdrop of 1931 Chicago. There's spirits and demons that some people can see and others can't. That's who this white-suited individual is. Sorry if you can't see it. They buy magical powers, like through runes and different items and stuff like that. It's a not bad comic. But on the cover, if you look at it here, I have always been against this, putting quotes from, like, IGN, the greatest comic read that you'll ever want. Jack, I'm always complaining about that on collected editions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who did they quote on the cover of Tommy Gun Wizards? Kelly Sue DeConnick.
Oh, God.
I mean, what a mar on a pretty good fucking comic. She reads, this world presents the fantastic in stride, giving us gangsters and eldritch horrors, magic and speakeasy, all in one breath. The result is all at once familiar and delightfully weird. Mary Sue DeConnick, if you possessed 1/10 of the creative ability of the people that wrote this and worked on this, you wouldn't be reviled as much as you are and only liked by the scant few that are in favor of your fucking politics. And chat, for those of you who don't know who Kelly Sue DeConnick is, who I call Mary Sue DeConnick, she is a longtime writer, huge feminist, problem glasses, bitches about everything. Everything is patriarchy as far as she's concerned. And if you need one item that sums up who she is and how she thinks, she is widely quoted as saying, and actually did say it, and everyone just loves this quote for the obvious reasons, the film Captain Marvel, particularly the scene where she gets her powers and flies around and destroys everything with I'm just a girl playing in the background. She said that will be studied and theses will be written about it. And decades from now, it will be researched and talked about, that one little scene, because of how important and layered in meaning it is.
In gender studies classes, too.
Yeah. Like, you're not like right out of your fucking mind or anything, are you? That line and that awareness on her part shows so much of the bullshit relationship between people that masquerade as academics when they're really activists who have nothing substantial to do on campus. So they talk about movies that they liked that, well, in the cultural zeitgeist, there's layers of meaning in a woman's ability to discover her blah, 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 blah. And DeConnick's not wrong that people will write theses on that crap. And she knows because the moron reads theses that are that fucking vapid. Mm-hmm. She knows that is the kind of crap that's going to be focused on. And she saw it and writes like that and delivers that material specifically for that audience. So we've had previous issues of or episodes of Comic Book Curation that we've even titled, Who is the Audience? People in Comicsgate are constantly asking that. Who was this written for? When DeConnick's writing, he's writing for fucking people that are writing theses and papers and term papers in gender studies. That's who.
Yes.
And that's why nobody buys her shit. In short. And it sucks that a actually really interesting premise like this comic is marred by this idiot's blather on the cover. I wish you would spend more time studying how this stuff is written and focus on this, Kelly Sue, instead of trying to indoctrinate everybody with your weirdo garbage. Food for thought.
Do you know who she's married to?
I did at one point, but currently forget who.
Nick Spencer.
Oh my
No,
fucking
no!
god. No, I didn't know that. Jesus Christ. Is she really?
Look it up.
Oh my fucking god.
Yet
That-
another reason to not be hopeful for that Spider-Man 2099.
Oh my god, does that explain so fucking much?
Maybe he was writing the villains that way as a cheeky way to get back at his wife.
No, I think he's a little more, you know. I'm not.
Let me
saying
have this, Jack, please. I don't want to be completely fucking bleak all the time.
Like that means we have an answer to the question we asked in that video. Is this all a
Yes.
Poe? No.
It's it's not.
This is deadly fucking serious.
Oh, my bad. She's married to Matt Fraction,
Oh, okay.
who's just as bad.
I don't know him particularly as much as I know Nick Spencer. So it still might be a Poe. Is he married to a bizarro feminist that's beaten him into submission to accept all of her ideas without question?
Oh, I have no doubt. Yeah. What was it? Matt Fraction wrote some real hippie shit. He's done a ton of stuff. He worked on Uncanny X-Men, Thor, Iron Man.
Do you write the infamous wage gap in India thing?
No, that was Tom Taylor.
Hmm.
He wrote that series Sex Criminals.
Oh, I read that. That wasn't that bad.
He can be a good writer when he wants to be, but he's just such a fucking piece of shit.
Well, you know that I can't remember who it is now. I used to chat comics and Lords of the Knights chat, and someone recommended I read Sex Criminals, and that wasn't the name is very funny.
It is, yeah. It's just saying it over and over again kills me.
The premise, okay, and the reason why it is called Sex Criminals, if you want me to divulge, is the fact that the series is about these two people that find out that they have the superpower that when they come, time stops. So they take that opportunity to rob banks. So they are literal sex criminals.
Well, he wrote a bunch of the Avengers versus X-Men storyline. You know, the one where the mutants became violent separatists.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing that for a really long fucking time. Ever since, and I'm gonna keep bringing it up. Was it M Day? Was it?
House of M.
Oh, is that what you're M Day?
House of M, yeah, it was House of M. No, it is M Day, I think, is what it's called the Decimation. The whole no more mutants bullshit and the lead into fucking Civil War. I hate that comic that much.
Well, all right. So I understand your hatred of House of M, but it got worse as things went. And
I know.
I think, after that, it got a lot worse. Like the whole, I'd say last 7 or 8 years of X-Men has been the worst that's ever possibly been. But yeah, it started there. I'll give you that.
It's terrible, man.
I'll tell you what, guys. Why don't we move on to pitches? Oh, you know what? I want to ask chat something. Let me see. Have them up. Okay, I got one of them up. Okay, so chat, you remember the Fox and Hound? Would you rather see me do a review of Fox and Hound in all
the
its
comic book, not the animated movie?
That's right, very much so. In all of its sad attempts at nudity, or
sad. I mean, they succeed in it.
Well, that's going to be a lot harder to do because there's going to be like polydub discs or otter faces all over the fucking place.
You should do black boxes, do the actual censor bars.
Or would you rather see me review The Freshman, which, if you don't know, is a superhero team based upon Axe body spray aromas, literally. And they fight alongside the X-Men. They're the wokest team ever.
Them.
They've
I
got,
remember we talked about that.
yeah, the comic finally came out. I got a copy here. It's just a one-shot from Marvel, but it is the Freshman based on Axe body spray. So this guy's probably like extra spicy or something, and then the Fat Boy's probably the musky smell.
This is Dorito scented.
But there's
That's
only
a Twinkie. It's built just for you, Jack.
there's
Oh,
only
yeah.
one white person on the team, and of course she's got like the lesbo haircut, and she's a female, of course. No white men to be seen, and there's body positive Fat Boy here, and it's great. The team's woke as fuck, and they all represent Axe body spray. So either that or Fox and Hound and their attempts at nudity and getting away with it. It's up to you. You tell me. So that's I will go back and read in the chat which ones you guys think, which one you think would be a better option. And in the meantime, let's Meadowinter says both. that's just cheating. Why don't we move on to reviews if you guys are ready? If you're not, I can go first. Not reviews, pitches. Excuse me. Pitches.
There you go. So trying to find mine. Give me 1 second.
Now I'm ready.
All right. Jack,
All
it
right,
is.
hold on.
Let me see. Oh yeah, hold on. I gotta drag this over here. Really? That's what you're pitching?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
You disagree?
No, I'm just surprised.
Hmm.
I don't think it's bad. I'm just surprised you are pitching it. Oops.
I don't know how to take that.
Badly.
I'm surprised you can read.
You should take it very badly.
Thought you just looked at pictures, dummy.
Okay, it's not centered. Hopefully you don't have any 2-page splashes. Actually, if you start
No.
talking, I'll move it.
All right, so I'm pitching Doomsday Clock issue 11. The series is finally coming to a close, and they answer a lot of questions in this issue. So I've enjoyed Doomsday Clock quite a bit, despite the fact that there have been amazing delays in this series. But I really like the art. I like the story. It's interesting. A lot of stuff happens in this one. Superman's coming out of his coma and is trying to stop bad things from happening. Wonder Woman is fighting on her own against a whole bunch of supervillains. Batman's trying to stop a nuclear war. You know, everything's going crazy. And the government wants to arrest Batman for treason, for trying to stop a nuclear war. So it's a very action-packed issue, but it reminds me of a lot of the old-time comics where stuff actually happens in books. And look, nobody's sitting around drinking coffee. Look at that face. That's an angry face. Oh, look, dynamic. Whoa, something interesting. Look, Mars. All right. And then look at this. You got old school Manhunter, Creeper, this guy, Giganta's legs, Man Bat. Awesome, right? These guys look badass.
Why is the Creeper with villains though?
Well, you have to kind of read the story. A lot of people defected to Kandak to not be arrested.
Oh, okay.
Because of the Superman theory. It's a whole thing. But yeah, some of the heroes and anti-heroes signed up with Black Adam because he was giving them amnesty, yeah, and protection. And that helicopter in the background, that's Marine One. So there's Ozymandias with his little pet and some bad guys. It's just so much going on. And they explain a lot. And this is new Rorschach. The art is fantastic. I was a huge fan. I love this shot right here. That's badass.
Oh yeah, I've really dug it. My problem is that the schedule was so erratic. I just stopped trying to collect it. I think I've only got the first 5 issues.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people did because it started going into delays. It was like 2 or 3 months before one of the issues came out. I think that was issue 10. And then there was a 2 2-month thing between 10 and 11. I'm telling you, give it a second chance. The final issue's coming out in, I think, 2 months. Just get the collected edition, and it'll make way more sense. Because you forget a lot of little details, and there's a lot of little hints and clues in this one, but they wrap a lot of things up, and there's some really cool angles they take that I'm leaving out intentionally because I really want you to check it out and read it. Give it a second chance. The art's phenomenal. The writing's solid. And they're going to bring back the Justice Society finally from the look of it. So I was really excited by that, and I just thought it's worth revisiting. A lot of people gave up on it. Give it a second try because it's just a really interesting take on the superhero genre and the Watchmen, and it makes it fun again. It's not this uptight moral finger wagging crap. It's actually just a pretty good adventure story. So yeah, that's my pitch.
Now that it's finally over, go back and get them all and read them instead of waiting months and months in between them.
Just one issue left, and then it'll be collected probably a few weeks after that if DC sticks to their schedule. So the collected edition should be out in time for Christmas.
Oh, sweet. All right. It's a 12-issue series, right?
Yeah, this is 11. So, and that's a pretty dynamic cover there.
It is.
Yeah.
Black Adam's such a tool.
American flag. That's really kind of cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I really liked this series. I thought it's really worth checking out, but the time delays have screwed a lot of people up and made them lose interest. I'm telling you, if that collected edition is coming out in time for Christmas, like they say it's gonna, just ask for it for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, Yule. I don't care, whatever your religious thing is. Get somebody to buy it for you and enjoy it that way, because I think people really dig it if they give it a second try.
Nice. Okay. Quiz, did you want to go or shall I?
You want to go?
All right, I will.
Hang on. BG said, so you're pitching Polydub the comic.
The greatest comic ever. High adventure, drama, love, eroticism, everything one could hope for. Oh, there's Wonder Woman with the Viet Cong again. Okay. I am going to be pitching. Oh, so really quick. This is something I should have pitched a long time ago. I thought that I had because it's such an obvious pitch. What gave me the idea to double check on it is a comic book that your boy Zach recently reviewed. I was telling Jack about it. He was so excited. And it was a comic that I previously pitched. And I couldn't believe he said he had never read it before. It came out in, started in 1987, ended in 1988. Elektra, Assassin. If you go back, you'll see that I did pitch it a while back. It was originally single issue, whatever, and then collected. Written by the inimitable Frank Miller. And it's fucking awesome. And it got me thinking about, like, holy shit, like, you've never read that? That's Frank Miller classic material. That's like not having read Dark Knight Returns or his run on Daredevil. It's his classic material. I can't believe you haven't read it before now. I was surprised. And that's when I got thinking, I had never pitched this one, and what the fuck? Batman Year One. It's so good. He didn't write it. David Mazzucchelli? How do you say it? Mazzucchelli? Yeah. Draws it. This is exactly what it sounds like. Batman Year One. This is what kicked off the whole Year One for everyone vibe. I'm going to tell the first year of Batman's life. I'm going to flip ahead because this is the deluxe edition where it actually starts. There's the...
I pitched Year One.
Year One of what?
I pitched Green Arrow Year One.
Don't have me thinking that I... Anyway. So what the hell is it? I pitched a totally different comic that also happens to have two of the same words in it.
Well, it's part of the Year One series. They're like, everyone has a Year One comic now.
Because of Frank Miller.
It did start with Batman Year One.
So here's the famous cover of the first issue of Batman Year One back in the day. It seems boring now to weigh so heavily upon young Bruce Wayne and his shot dead parents, but this is what makes it matter. Writing back in the day. Chapter 1, Who I Am, How I Come to Be. This art style of the desaturated look of the art style and sort of simplistic look of it just lends itself to the story. It's as much of a story about James Gordon, who is not yet to become commissioner, as it is about Bruce Wayne becoming Batman, because it's about their partnership and how they come to understand each other and become partners in the way where Commissioner Gordon, of course, knows who Batman is and that he's Bruce Wayne and is willing to help him out. Why would you help out a vigilante, and how this guy become a vigilante? Fantastic stuff. Been made into a DC animated series or animated feature. It was
going to bring up the DC animated series. Not going to lie, better than the comic, but
well, of course that's not true, but it is good specifically because of how faithful it is to the original series, to this that you're looking at right now. I can't recommend it strong enough. It's great. It lays a lot of the lore out on just how corrupt Gotham is and how long it's been corrupt, and how fighting it as a straight up cop isn't going to work. It's not going to work for Bruce Wayne, who wants to change things in his hometown, and it's not going to work for Gordon, a new detective to the town, when he discovers the guy he's partnered with, and he finds out just what a criminal Flass is. Bruce Wayne here hasn't become Batman yet. He's just training up to the point. Goes out with his little fake scar on. The night does not go well. He gets cranked. Why? They're not afraid of him. They have no fear of the man. He goes down to the worst parts of Gotham, as you can see here, the red light district. And this is when he gets the idea that I need to be someone fearful. I need to strike fear into their hearts. I need to be a legend that the criminals talk amongst each other with. All of this fantastic lore of Batman is made sense of, as it always is so well done by Miller. You get Catwoman being brought into it very early on, and this is her, Selena Kyle, as the harsh mistress prostitute, the dominatrix back in the day. It's a dark story of corruption and everything, and it's Batman Year One and all of its grisly, grimy glory. Highly recommend it. It's available in a number of different printings. You're gonna be able to find it used as a collected edition all over the place. It's just such a great, grimy detective story read. Strongly recommend. Great fun. That's my pitch. Batman fucking Year One, baby. And this is the cover of Batman Year One, the deluxe edition, which isn't necessary. It's just got like interviews and new stuff and sketch pages and shit. But you can get just the core story. And while you're at it, watch the DC animated feature, because it's fucking awesome as well.
It is. It's great. It's one of my favorites. It's one of the few ones I have on DVD.
So there it is.
In my
Quiz.
opinion, better than the comic.
It's not better than the comic. All right.
It is.
Well, it depends. Who's been drinking in this scenario?
What?
Probably Polly.
Was it you or Frank Miller?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this was written before Frank Miller started drinking. Started drinking to the point of being a heavy drinker.
It was definitely Frank.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, my pitch is written by written by AJ Lieberman, art by Nathan Fox. This is a little bit of a break in the sequence, but it's Harley Quinn Volume 1, Issue 31, Little Green Secret. If you notice here, you've got this cover. It's the cover is actually going along with a little bit of the current running story, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the contents of this comic, right? Because this is Harley after she's come back to Gotham, and this is a cop that she's starting to date because she's kind of gotten herself away from the Joker. But it's Harley, so of course she never is away from the Joker for too long. But this story is, and if you look at the interior arts, and wildly different from the cover. The story is all about how Harley is trying to find a new hideout, and these guys break into her new apartment and steal stuff out of her safe. Well, that stuff that was in her safe is this drug that was given to her by Poison Ivy. And this drug gives her superhuman agility and speed and all sorts of stuff like that. Allows her to be a super criminal in Gotham. And it comes with the added caveat of the fact that she needs to consume this drug or she dies. So you can see right here, she's taking this sort of measure of her blood to see the content of this drug and to see how long she has until she dies before she can get another dose. And this is long after Poison Ivy is already been incarcerated, so she can't go to Poison Ivy about it. So she needs to find these guys that robbed her and get this drug back. And
Spoilers. Jesus.
It's a really interesting story that eventually gets around to it's a single issue. It has its resolution in the issue. And it's one of these really interesting things that you can see sometimes in these long running series, or longer running series, where you'll have like an issue that doesn't have nothing to do with nothing. That's its own self-contained story, and I love those. And I thought they nailed it with this one here with Harley. And it's if you don't want to collect the entire series, just want to get one issue that tells a really interesting story, issue number 31.
Nice.
Cool.
What year is that from?
That would be, I think, 2002 or 2003.
Okay. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of Comic Book Curation, number 63, if memory serves.
June 2003.
June 2003. Yeah, so that's it. Final thought for the day, read more comics. And thanks again to everybody who has liked the stream already. And if you haven't already, on your way out, please hit that like button and share with anybody you might think would find it of interest, or go retweet the link that I sent out earlier on Twitter if you are so inclined. If you wish to help further beyond that, Evolved Potato has very generously and just recently put all of our links in chat to Streamlabs. You can find our links to our various Twitters below. And the hashtags, hashtag CBC articles, by all means, put up stuff about what you are reading, what you have read, what you want to read. It's kind of cool to see that. I like seeing that stuff. I like seeing what people are talking about. If you have any articles that you want to see us talk about, rage over, whatever the hell, by all means, hashtag CBC articles.
Yeah.
Appreciate anybody who puts them up there. And thank you to everybody who donated tonight. Your help is greatly appreciated towards de-spudifying my computer. Everybody, have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, all.
Bye.